These two teams have been on a collision course all season, and tonight they face off in the District 8 5A D1 championship game. Welcome into Georgetown's Birkelbach Field, and we hope you stay a while for this heavyweight bout between the 8-1 Georgetown Eagles and the 6-3 Cedar Park Timberwolves. Whether you're watching us on TexanLive.com or for free on YouTube.com/Dave Campbell's, you're listening to the Dave Campbell's Rising Game of the Week broadcast booth. I'm Carter Yates, and joining me on the call is Dave Campbell's Director of Recruiting, Greg Powers. And Powers, man, this is what the blood, sweat, and tears in the August heat during 2 days are for. To be a legend tonight under this November sky.
No doubt about it, Carter, and one of these two teams are certainly going to be having their heads held high as they walk through the hallways next week. I'm very excited about the hard-hitting action we're going to see tonight, especially in the middle of these two defenses, as running back Trey Hill for Cedar Park stacks big week after big week, and he's a guy that definitely more colleges should be taking a look at. And on the other side, you have Georgetown running back Jet Walker, one of the more impressive physical specimens that you'll find in all of Texas high school football. And he's going to play his college ball at Minnesota. As a matter of fact, Carter, he just switched his commitment from West Virginia to Minnesota. He's going to row the boat.
And I feel like Georgetown and Cedar Park are two teams that are almost mirror images of each other, Powers. They both grew up in the same little leagues, very close to each other. It's been a rivalry game, but Georgetown went 12 years without beating Cedar Park at any level, whether it was varsity, JV, the freshman team. But they won a district championship in 2022 and 2024, so 2 of the last 3 years have had Cedar Park's number. What do you think Cedar Park and this Black Rain defense has to do tonight to win the district title?
Well, first, the Georgetown offense runs through Jet Walker, whether it's off a play action or just straight handing him the rock. They have to be able to slow down the run game. But Georgetown also has a trump card, I feel like, in Xavier Warren, the wide receiver who's committed to Texas State, 10.32, 100 meters speed. But on the offensive side of the ball, they have to execute. They have an experienced offensive line. These guys play together well as a unit. They have to give Trey Hill the space he needs to operate, and also give David Cooper, a big 6'4", 2027 quarterback, the time to complete passes down the field so the Georgetown defense can't pin its ears back and just zero in on Hill.
Well, Powers, you mentioned the quarterbacks, and let's take a look at tonight's quarterback matchup presented by Panini America. I'm looking at David Cooper first on the Cedar Park side. What have you seen from him on the tape?
I really liked his tape because he's calm, cool, and effective in the pocket. He has the type of arm that can stretch defenses out. He spreads the ball and evenly distributes it across the offense, finding a lot of different wide receivers. I think that he's a guy that has a chance to play at the next level. As a matter of fact, he already camped with schools like Texas Tech, UTSA, and UTEP last year.
And then on the Georgetown side, too, number 12, Caleb McDougal, a junior. What have you seen from him?
Definitely a guy that understands that he has a lot of weapons to utilize, and he does a tremendous job with his play action game, freezing the defense, giving his receivers the time to get the space they need to get wide open. He's got a lot of weapons. We're going to talk about Jet Walker a lot. We're going to talk about Xavier Warren a lot, right? But there's a lot of guys on this team that have the ability to make big plays, and McDougal does a pretty good job of getting them the rock.
Now both teams have taken the field. We are moments away from getting this District 8 5A D1 championship started. And I believe we'll now step aside for the national anthem. Thank you to the Georgetown High School Choir for a terrific rendition of the national anthem. That's got me fired up for some football here on a Friday night. Powers, our first Rising Game of the Week game on a Friday. How does it feel?
Man, it feels good. We're truly under the Friday night lights. We had the time change this week. It really, truly feels like playoff football, and I couldn't be more excited because we have a playoff-style game tonight as the 8-5A Division I District Championship hangs in the balance.
Yes, both teams are guaranteed a playoff spot, but they want the bragging rights of winning the district championship. You'll have the Georgetown Eagles in their blue uniforms and the Cedar Park Timberwolves in the white uniforms on the far side of your screen. And that Black Rain defense, coached by Michael Quintero, the head coach at Cedar Park since 2021, but he was the defensive coordinator under Joe Willis from 2007 to 2015, won a couple state championships in that time. Powers, what do you think of when you think of Cedar Park football?
Well, this is a traditional Texas high school football power, at least since I've been covering the game, and they've been on the radar for a long time. A team that everybody in the Syntax and across the state really respects. They've been there, they've done that.
Yes, sir. And then on the other side, the Georgetown program, who we mentioned didn't beat Cedar Park at any level for 12 years going, but have caught some steam here in the last couple of years. What have you seen from Georgetown, a program on the rise?
Well, Georgetown has ebbed and I remember watching Georgetown play in a state championship game. I know I'm dating myself a little bit, but it doesn't seem like it was that too awfully long ago. But what they've done here is they've built this program up behind guys who love playing for this Georgetown Eagles football program, and they have a tremendous offensive front led by Stanford commit Caden Shear, number 71. He's going to be playing right tackle tonight. This is a guy that epitomizes what Georgetown loves to do within their program. They love to play mean and nasty in the trenches, and they have the dudes that can pull it off.
And you mentioned Caden Shearer, and Coach Chuck Griffin in our pre-production meeting had told us that they're used to having one Division I kid come through the program every 4 years or so. They have 3 in one season on the offensive side, with the running back Jet Walker committed to Minnesota, wide receiver Xavier Warren committed to Texas State, and left tackle Caden Shearer. And we'll see if they're going to get the ball first or if it'll be Cedar Park.
Yeah, we touched on some of the D1 guys, and there are some guys in this game that I think are flying a little bit underneath the radar. And one of the guys I would like to point out is the guy playing the left tackle, Sam Lopez. He's the type of guy for Georgetown that usually controls the offensive front. A lot of plays go to his side. I think he's the heart and soul of this offensive line. 2 great bookend tackles there for Georgetown. But on the other offensive front, big Jacob Slaughter, number 78. This is a guy I think a lot of colleges in state might be sleeping on, deserves some more looks. He's the heart and soul of this Cedar Park offensive front.
And Sam Lopez, the Georgetown left tackle, you're talking about a 3-year starter who was honored pregame with the Dave Campbell's Most Driven Scholar Athlete Award. So he earned that award and that check, and now he's trying to go cash it out there on the football field tonight.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting to see, because I think this is a game that is going to be won in the trenches. Whether it's Georgetown or Cedar Park, the team that plays the best on both the offensive and defensive fronts, to me, Carter, that's who's going to walk away with the dub.
And it looks like Georgetown will receive Xavier Warren, number 7. The Texas State commit is back deep. We'll see if Cedar Park kicks to him. And this kickoff is brought to you by Community Coffee. You're not going to need any caffeine, though, for this game, the District 8-5A D1 Championship.
Did I mention that Xavier Warren has 10.32 100-meter speed? Very dangerous guy to be kicking the ball off to.
And the kickoff's going to come from Deshaun Stewart, number 15, the junior linebacker, who also doubles as the kick specialist.
Here we go, Carter.
And a low line drive kick on the sideline. Makes a man miss, will not go down, gang tackled by that Cedar Park defense. So now we will see Georgetown's offense first with all that Division I superpower we were talking about, led by number 12, Caleb McDougal, the junior quarterback.
And it's nice that both of these programs have juniors leading their teams, because both of these guys are going to be back for another run next year, bringing experience under center, because both Trey Hill and Jet Walker, they're seniors. They're not going to be around next year.
McDougal in the shotgun, Walker offset. It's going to be a screen pass early at the top of your screen, and it makes a man miss, and he's got some room down the sideline. That was number 16, Braylon Westfall, the junior, 5'9", 160, a slot guy, showing off the speed here early.
Put his man in the blender after making that catch. I thought it was going to go for a 4-yard gain, but he made a man miss, hit the sidelines in a big first down play for the Eagles.
It's going to be a 1st and 10, ball at the 36-yard line. Eagles already on the plus side of the field, 2 backs in the backfield. Warren in motion. This one's going to be to Walker. Makes a man miss, and he's going up the right sideline. He's got some space. Walker staying in tightrope, and he's going to be out inside the 5-yard line. You know, Michael Quintero, the head coach of Cedar Park, talked about how they need to keep Walker from going north and south because that's what he wants to do. But once he gets to the second level, he's so hard to stop. They're trying to get him to go east and west, but even their powers going east and west and still has a huge gain.
He's tough in the middle of the field, and I agree with Coach Quintero about trying to keep him bottled up. But game prepping for this game, one of the things I noticed that Walker does well is getting outside the tackle. He's able to get north and south while moving laterally.
3 backs in the backfield now. Warren in motion. Walker off the right, left side. Truck sticking his way down at the 1-yard line. This is going to be a 2nd and goal and about inches away.
And this is where you want to rely on that big offensive front. You can see those guys out there on the tape right now. They're all big, all strong, and all nasty. They live for moments like this.
So an early dose of Walker, who is averaging 130 yards a game this year. I mentioned the Minnesota commit, but they also have a junior in Weston Stewart who's averaging 7 yards a carry, and a sophomore, Zechariah Guyton. I formation now. And some early movement. Looks like a false start. It's going to back Georgetown up.
And you're not looking for these penalties, especially when you have it on the 1-yard line, because now that's going to put you in a very interesting situation. You have to come with a whole different set of plays than what you were planning on running right here. You mentioned Zechariah Guyton, Carter. I kind of get the feeling from watching tape heading into this game that he could be the future of this program, the face of this program moving forward. He really passes the eyeball test, and he looks like a guy that has the juice to be the next D1 guy in line here at Georgetown.
Now in the shotgun, 2nd and goal. Walker in motion. They're going to give it to him on a counter off the left side, rumbling and stumbling again down at the 1-yard line, about right back where they were.
And a tremendous tackle there at the goal line from keeping him into the end zone. It looked like that was number 31, Luke Worley, the senior linebacker, doing a tremendous job of putting Jet Walker down before he could get 6 points on the board.
You see Georgetown is huddling up, going methodical. They like to milk the clock. We are already almost under 10 minutes to go in this first quarter. Looks like Walker's going to get the direct snap. Read option with Walker. He's going to keep it. Did he get in? Did he have enough? Looks like he's down inside the 1. That's going to bring up a 4th and goal.
Very, very tough defensive stand here by Cedar Park, giving Georgetown an interesting situation. They're running some guys onto the field, but that's not the kicker. That's McDougal coming back out.
Yeah, fear not. We see a heavy substitution. That's just different offensive personnel. You know you're going to need touchdowns and not field goals in this District 8 5A Division I championship.
You know what? I might not be able to watch that, Carter, because McDougal's also the holder.
Hand off to Walker, their main man. He gets in the end zone. That is touchdown. Jet Walker walking into the end zone, and here goes the light show.
And that's exactly the type of talent Minnesota is going to be getting in Jet Walker, somebody that you can lean on in red zone situations. When you get close to the goal line, he has the power to drag defenders behind him, and that's exactly what he did on that touchdown run. They hit him before he was in the end zone, but it didn't matter because he helped orchestrate a 7-play, 61-yard drive here for Georgetown's first score of the night.
And it looks like they're going to go for 2 here. Walker passes out to the left side. and that is to number 2, Regan Tarosian, the senior, 6'2", 200 pounds. He didn't need any of that strength there because he just walked right in.
And Georgetown loves to go for 2. They come up with some very interesting sets to be able to make that happen. That was something else that I noticed on game tape coming into this week, is they get very creative after they score a touchdown.
So Georgetown takes an early 8-0 lead, 9:09 left in the first quarter. And an early dose of Jet Walker from that Georgetown offense. We mentioned how they do a lot of running back by committee, trying to keep their guys healthy going into these final games, district championships, and playoff runs. But I predicted it on the Texas Football Tonight show, Powers. I believe we're going to see Jet Walker unleashed tonight.
Yeah, this is the time of the year that you have to lean on your best playmakers. You have to have them hitting on all cylinders as you march into the playoffs, because Georgetown wants to get to the playoffs. They've already locked in their spot. They want to win a state championship, right? They want to win it all. So to do that, they have to lean on Jet Walker. They have to lean on Warren. And what I would say has to happen is their defense has to step up. But Cedar Park's not out of this game yet, Carter. This is a team that is used to being in tough, hard-hitting games. They tested themselves with a brutal non-district schedule. Hey, so they're ready to go for this battle tonight.
Samuel Galava is going to kick it off here. Low live drive skipping. And that is Cedar Park's number 18 getting swallowed up. Kyson Pham, the junior wide receiver, did a good job just getting north and south because Georgetown was on that coverage like white on rice.
Yeah, that was a tremendous job by the special teams unit there to limit a big play, because you definitely don't want to give up 6 on a special teams play after you had a good opening drive. I expect to see a heavy dose of Trey Hill, but Cooper's a guy that can definitely stretch you out.
Cooper going to be in the shotgun with Trey Hill offset to the left. Cooper takes a snap, fires it out to number 2, Jonah Johnson, on a quick hitch. So we expect a heavy dose of Trey Hill, and we expected a heavy dose of Jet Walker, but both teams open it up with a pass.
Yeah, you want to try to loosen those defenses up a little bit, give some space for your running back to operate. So I like those opening play call passes on first down.
Now Trey Hill up the gut, charging forward. It's going to take almost the entire Georgetown defense to bring this man down tonight.
And we talked about Jet Walker in the middle of the field. I believe Trey Hill is a guy that loves to operate in the middle of the field even more so. Jet will like to escape to the outside, kind of use his speed to make those big plays, but Trey Hill thrives in between the tackles and puts up monster game after monster game. I'd actually be surprised if he doesn't rush for 100 yards.
3rd down and 4, man in motion. Trey Hill, no, it's Cooper up the gut, and he gets stonewalled at the sticks. That was number 11, Cole Mitchell, the senior linebacker and 3-year starter, but it was enough from Cooper to move the chains.
That was a tremendous hit right there. The quarterback's definitely going to be feeling that as he goes back to lead the offense here on the first down play, but I bet he has a smile on his face. You know why? Because he said the key phrase, they moved the chains.
First down, Trey Hill up the gut. And even when it looks like he stopped, I mean, that is a 3-yard gain. Sometimes it looks like with the Cedar Park offense, it's 3 yards in a cloud of dust until Trey Hill breaks loose on you.
And they're pressing the action here, making sure that their tempo is upbeat, trying to keep the Georgetown defense on its heels.
2nd down and 7. Cooper going to hand off to Hill. Up the gut, once again, gang tackled by the Georgetown Eagles defense. And you got to think the strategy for containing Walker is similar for containing Hill, because both these guys are Division I football prospects. They want to make these guys go east and west and not north and south.
Yeah, no doubt about it, but I got to feel like Chuck Griffin has got to be a little bit enthusiastic about the defense's effort on these first couple of plays. No yard has been easy to get, and I think that's a good sign if you're an Eagles fan.
3rd and 5, man in motion. It's going to be a play-action pass. Cooper is scanning the field, got all the time in the world, throws across his body, and number 84, Braden Johns.
Ooh, that Cole Mitchell brings the wood, the lumber. He's hitting tonight, Carter. But what a tremendous job there by Cooper, extending the play until his receiver came open. Nobody was open.
Trey Hill up the gut once again, and this wide receiver core for Cedar Park is by committee. Jamal Porter, number 7, is their game changer, but Braden Johns has flown under the radar all season. He's a possession receiver who's the chain mover whenever they need him. They needed him right there, and he came through. Now 2nd down and about 6. Cooper looks to the sideline for the play call adjustment. And Porter's number 7 at the top of your screen. I'm sure you will be hearing from him soon. Off the left side, Hill stood up by a Georgetown Eagles wall.
And now you're getting into the part of the field, to me, Carter, where you have to start thinking about it being 4-down territory in high school football, right? Your offense has a chance to score some points. It's 3rd and about 4.5 yards right now. You got 2 plays here. If I'm calling plays, you got 2 plays to pick up a 1st down.
3rd and 4, 5:30 left in the first quarter. Could be 4th-down territory here, like Powers mentioned. We'll see what this 3rd-down play call is. Cooper going to hand it off to Hill. And I'll tell you what, Greg Powers, I know Hill's getting positive yards, but this Georgetown Eagles defense is flying around the football.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we touched on it just briefly about how Coach Griffin has to be enthusiastic about the effort that his defense is given on every snap. But this is the snap that they're most concerned with right here.
4th and 2. Cooper going to take the snap, hand off to Hill. He's stuffed at the line of scrimmage but keeps moving forward. It's going to be close.
I think it was that last turn, that last twist that picked up Trey Hill the 1st down right there. Interesting to see where the spot is, though. We had guys with differing opinions on both sides of the field.
Georgetown thinks they stopped him for a turnover on down. Cedar Park's offense staying on the field thinks they have it.
They just had to get to the 36-yard line, it looks like right here. If they made it to the 36-yard line, that should be a 1st down. And from here, it looks like it's going to be.
1st down, Cedar Park. And the Georgetown fans don't like it, but Trey Hill earned every bit of that one. Also running behind his brother, who's the center, Cash Hill. Now 1st and 10, fresh set of downs. Cooper's going to pull this one and tuck it and run in the strides for about an 8-yard gain. And that's something that Coach Chuck Griffin had talked about with us in the pre-production meeting is both teams like to run the ball, but Cedar Park has a run threat with their quarterback, Cooper. And now they're going to go up-tempo. Trey Hill up the gut, rumbling, truck sticking his way down inside the 15-yard line.
And that's what you're looking for out of tempo, right? You're trying to catch the defense sleeping, and Trey Hill is going to be able to take advantage of that. If you're not ready for Trey Hill's going to be ready for you.
And we can't even catch our breath in the broadcast booth before Trey Hill has got the ball again. We're tired up here calling this one. Georgetown's defense got to be wearing down too.
Good tackle there, though, by Tennyson Dean. This guy set the school record with 4 sacks just last week, so he's used to making big plays, and he just made another one.
2nd and 5 now. Cooper going to take it off the right side, cuts up the gut, scores for the touchdown. Cedar Park with the response.
6'4", 185 pounds, and he chews up yardage in an instant. He looks like he's just smooth out there, but he was moving fast enough that he came in untouched for the tutty.
And Cedar Park is going to keep the offense on the field and go for it. No kicking extra points in this district championship game. Speed option off the left side. Cooper in once again. Heavy dose of him on the ground, and it is 8-8. 3:43 left in the first quarter.
Couldn't ask for a better start to this football game. We have 2 possessions, 1 for each team, 2 touchdowns, no extra points. Let's just go ahead and go for 2, and both teams converted.
And this game is sponsored by Body Armor. Body Armor, more than a sports drink. And I'll tell you what, both these defenses need some body armor after that first drive because these offenses put a hurting on them.
Look, I really liked what I saw out of Georgetown's opening drive. They were able to stretch out the Cedar Park defense. But Cedar Park matched that with a long, sustained drive that kept Georgetown's group out on the field for a significant portion of the first quarter. Only 3 minutes and 43 seconds left to go before the second stanza. I have to think that if they can continue to move the ball like that, make Georgetown defend them at all on all levels of the field, that's going to be a huge advantage for Cedar Park tonight.
And it was a lot of run action, but how about that third down conversion through the air from David Cooper to Braden Johns, too, thrown across his body. And this offensive line gave Cooper all the time in the world to make that throw.
And one of the toughest thing to do as an offensive lineman as your quarterback is scrambling around is not get that holding penalty. So tremendous job there by the Cedar Park offensive front to not only keep their quarterback clean and give him the time, but make sure they didn't pick up the penalty.
Deshaun Stewart with the boot. It's going to be the right up back, taking it up the sideline. And Jaheim Porter, the twin brother of Jamal Porter on Cedar Park, we'll be hearing his name quite a bit on defense from his linebacker spot, but he made the tackle there on special teams. Gotta love that for Cedar Park. Your biggest difference makers on defense are playing on special teams too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you're going to ask, or people at home might be asking, why do these teams want to kick it short? Well, the reason why you want to kick it short in this situation is Xavier Warren is sitting back there wearing number 7 with the opportunity to completely take the top off at any moment. I would never kick it to him.
And Xavier Warren is now split out at the top of your screen, number 7. But it's going to be Jet Walker once again on the delayed draw, and this Cedar Park defense was all over that one. Looked like Jimmy Aluko in on that play. And I know the coaching staff is also high on Brooks Buffard, who Michael Quintero told us is one of the best defensive linemen he's coached in his career, and that's pretty high praise for him.
No doubt about it, because Cedar Park has had some very talented defensive fronts. Jimmy Aluko is a guy that I really like as well. And you talked about him on special teams, Jaheim Porter. This is a dude that is the heart and soul of this defense at his inside linebacker position.
Dougal takes the snap, fakes a screen pass, but it's just Walker up the middle, charging ahead. And once again, 2 plays in Ordian plus side of the field. This Georgetown Eagles offense is picking up big chunks on the ground tonight.
It looked like the Cedar Park defender just melted off of Jet Walker when he hit him.
So how about a little more Jet Walker truck stick there? It's going to take at least 3 guys to bring him down. And Powers, you were mentioning something to me today about how Jet Walker, even when he's running east to west, he's still picking up yards north and south. Very rare ability from a running back.
Yeah, he has an NFL-esque quality about his game and his footwork, because when he's taking it to the outside, he's able to make these cuts while continuing to pick up positive yardage. It's a very nuanced part of a running back's game, but Jet Walker does it extremely well.
Now Zechariah Guyton, we said he might be the future of this Georgetown team, split back as the running back, now in motion. And McDougal going to look, going for the end zone to Warren, who is wide open and just off the fingertips. Might have been too open there, Greg Powers.
Well, the pass was a little bit long, and I thought when it left his hands, there was no possibility that Warren was going to make that catch. His closing speed was apparent on that. That's the type of talent that he's bringing to the table. But if you're Georgetown now, 3rd and medium right here, right? You missed the big play. You got to pick up a first down.
3rd and medium, and it could be 4 down territory once again, like we saw Cedar Park do on their opening possession. On the plus side of the field, around the 43-yard line, McDougal going to be in shotgun. And McDougal pulls it on the read option, and it's another drop by the Georgetown receivers. That was a little high and hot, but a good ball for McDougal, who's impressed me tonight so far.
Yeah, he's really smooth off of the play action. You saw it right there. Give that receiver time to get open across the middle of the field, which he did. He got the separation he needed to move the chains. McDougal put the ball on him. They just didn't execute right there. And it happens in high school football. Not every play is going to be executed perfectly. But here you go, 4th and 5. We'll see if they can move the chains, or will it be Cedar Park's ball?
4th and 5, 1:54 left in the first quarter. A high-stakes play for Georgetown. Looks like they wanted an offsides. McDougal's going to roll to his right and toss it out. Another drop. 3 in a row for this Georgetown offense.
And the flag did come out. It landed right on the 40, so it's tough to see out there on the field. But they're going to catch Cedar Park right here with this offside penalty. Be interested to see. I think it's going to be just short of the first down.
Either way, a huge break for the Georgetown offense, who would have been off the field, turnover on downs, instead are bailed out by an offsides call.
And that is going to be a first down.
So first down for Georgetown. Ball on the 38-yard line. 1:42 left in the first quarter. This game is knotted up at 8.
Jet Walker got his air. He's back on the field.
Much to the chagrin of the Cedar Park defense. Let's see if they hand him the rock here. It's going to be a pull from McDougal to Warren, getting him back in the action. Makes a man miss. It's going to pick up about 5 yards on that play. I really like that, Powers. After a drop, getting him back involved in the action to get that confidence back up.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we're going to talk about Warren's speed a lot tonight because it's apparent, it's glaring, it's one of his best attributes. But the thing I like most about his game is that he's not afraid to work in the middle of the field and make the tough catches. He's a guy that you can rely on to be there and bail your quarterback out. And that's one of his most admiring qualities.
Up to the line quick is Georgetown, 2nd down and 4. Warren on the pop pass, and he's got a lane going up the left sideline, showing off the 10-3 speed, and he's in like a sprinter out of the blocks, but there is a flag down.
And it looked like it might have been a hold right there as he was coming free to hit the sideline, but you could see the gas that he has in the tank. Whenever he got to those hashes, he cut up field, and nobody was going to catch him.
He hit that nitrous button for sure. He can shift gears like no other in Texas high school football. And it's going to come back on a holding.
Interesting story about Warren, who is I think he's the number 77 prospect on DCTX Rising Hot 100 for the class of 2026. He was a one-time UCLA commit, headed to the P4. They had a coaching change out there for the Bruins, and he decided to stay in-state and commit to G.J. Kinney to play for the Texas State Bobcats in San Marcos. That was a huge addition, one of the top recruits that they have in this class.
And G.J. Kinney, one of the best talent evaluators in the Group of 6 conferences. That's how they have gone to back-to-back First Responders Bowls, and it's getting guys like Warren. 1st and 10 now at the 26-yard line, and it's back to Walker, stringing him out east to west. But he just toe taps down the sideline and truck sticks on his way out.
He truck stick 2 Cedar Park defenders at the end of that run. But it was the tackle that he broke at the beginning of that run, Carter. You can't arm tackle Jet Walker. This is a guy that you have to throw your whole body into. He runs through arm tackles easily.
Now going to set up a 2nd down and 1. 34 seconds left in this first quarter. A game where the clock could melt away based on how both these teams run the ball.
They like to run the ball, but they're up-tempo. That's fun to watch.
McDougal going to pull it. Guyton's open the flat, but he wants it all. And it looked like Warren was caught up in between 2 defenders. The ball falls harmlessly to the turf.
And he missed a receiver in the end zone. That was a touchdown waiting to happen. I know that he was wanting to go for Warren, but he had a guy that came open across the middle late. In Copeland, Madre was open there, Carter.
So instead of a touchdown, it is 3rd and 1. 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Warren going to come off to the sideline, as it might be a heavy package here now. Yeah, we're going under center I formation, some old school football here. Walker takes the ball, driving, but stood up by Jaheim Porter. Man, that is 2 of the strongest guys on the field going at it in the hole.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see. It looks like they held fast right there. I think it's going to be 4th down, Carter, looking from where they spotted the ball. Walker had a couple of offensive linemen clearing a lane on the left side. He opted to go right, and that's where Porter was laying in wait to lower the boom, to force a big 4th down here.
And Chuck Griffin and coaching staff will have some time to think about it, because that is the end of the first quarter. Georgetown and Cedar Park tied 8-8, but Georgetown is driving with a 4th and 1 when we come back.
Uh-oh. You good?
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, if your back hurts...
Welcome back in for the start of the second quarter. 4th and 1 for Georgetown. Had some time to think about it, and they're going to go for it. I don't know if that was much of a decision there on the sideline.
They don't like to kick extra points, so I don't see a scenario where they really want to kick a field goal either.
They come out in a shotgun look. Guyton and Walker, the split backs. Warren in motion. Walker gets the handoff off the left side, tries to get his legs chopped out from under him, but more than enough for the first down.
What a tough task to be asked to do to try to limit Jet Walker from getting 1 yard. And especially with the offensive front, guys that you can lean on like Caden Shear and Sam Lopez. You can go behind those guys and they're going to open up huge lanes. And they gave their running back enough room to operate right there and move the sticks.
Caden Shear, 71, the left tackle, and Sam Lopez, the right tackle. Two of the bookends for this Georgetown offensive line. Protecting McDougal, who's got the rock, now hands it off to Walker on the stretch play, and that's just too easy there for Walker. Gives a high five to the fans, and Birkelbach Field is rolling right now.
Credit to the interior offensive linemen on this play, getting all their blocks, giving Walker the room that he needed to basically go untouched right there on that stretch play. Jet Walker's putting on a show tonight. Don't forget, he completed the 2-point conversion pass. So if he was on your fantasy squad, he picked you up a couple of extra points by being able to complete one. 2
touchdown runs, a 2-point conversion pass. And now he's going to be the up man on the line of scrimmage to block for his teammates on the extra point. That one's in from Samuel Galaviz, the senior. He's going to make this game 15-8 Georgetown.
3 possessions so far, 3 touchdowns. 2 for Georgetown, who took the opening kickoff. 61 yards and 7 plays to convert a touchdown. Cedar Park was able to answer that score, but Georgetown has now answered the answer, right? So there's nobody taking their foot off the gas in this contest.
I want to let y'all know that Elite Source Evaluators is the source for evaluating top athletes, identifying, ranking, projecting top high school players, and providing insight and exposure to help them stand out in their recruiting process. Powers, I know you've seen some elite talents out there you're evaluating right now. Who's impressed you so far?
Well, definitely I've been impressed with Jet Walker. He's easy to see out there on the field. He's the biggest dude in the pads. Can't mistake him. But I love speed, and Xavier Warren is a guy that can completely obliterate a defensive back. He can run right by you, or he can run around you. But if you're asking me for my sleeper of the night, which I'm just going to go ahead and give you.
I want it.
I'm watching Jaheim Porter, man. Big, strong inside linebacker, plays a grimy brand of football for Cedar Park. When this game gets into the 4th quarter and they need a stop, it's a Jaheim Porter that you can turn to tackle a guy like Jet Walker.
Galaviz boots into the November night sky. This is going to be returnable for Cedar Park. And that rushing lane closed up quickly there. A beautiful job by number 41 on Georgetown's kickoff coverage team, Ethan Casey, the sophomore.
I don't know who their special teams coordinator here at Georgetown is, but I respect him. This dude does a really good job. Their team looks well prepared, and what they do on the extra point game is pretty remarkable as well.
So Georgetown answered the answer. Can Cedar Park answer the answer from the answer? We'll workshop that one. Here's Cooper in the backfield, shotgun. He's going to fire it out to Porter. He is their game changer, their threat, who is the twin of the sleeper prospect, Powers, you were evaluating on the defensive side. Jamal Porter is the wide receiver. Jaheim Porter is the linebacker.
Yeah, there's definitely a family connection. We talked about the Hill brothers, you know, the center Hill blocking for the running back Hill, and you also have the Porters out here. I think on that pass, that was going to be a tough pass to catch because you could hear the defender closing in on you.
Cooper on another design quarterback run. That's been a wrinkle to the Cedar Park offense that I didn't expect as much coming in, and maybe that's because I was just so expectant of Hill to make the biggest impact, and he has made a big impact, but Cooper's legs have been huge in this game.
And not something that I noticed a lot that they like to do on the offensive side of the ball, but this is a wrinkle that you mentioned that can keep Georgetown on its heels.
Third down now, going for it all. Porter elevates, and he's going to have that first down and a little bit more. Out at the 50-yard line exactly.
Tremendous conversion there. Cole Mitchell bearing down on him at the end. Hey, Cole Mitchell's made a lot of good plays. Some of them have been beyond the sticks, but he's a guy who will blow you absolutely up.
And it looks like Mitchell's coming in on the blitz too. Actually, pardon me, that was number 14, Hammett. And it got Cedar Park's offensive line a little jumpy too, seeing that linebacker blitz coming.
And a key part of the way that Cedar Park is doing things right now with tempo and what they like to do with their offense in the QB run game is that sniffer back. And we might not get a chance to call his name a whole lot tonight, but number 88, Brendan Baker, this is a guy that they're going to have to depend on to get his blocks.
First and 15, Hill up the gut. And that's right off the butt of the left tackle, Jacob Slaughter, who I know the coaches are very high on, and really a lot of Hill's success is because of this offensive line, like left tackle Jacob Slaughter, who's a 3-year starter, and then Brock Bungo, the right guard, a junior who's already a 2-year starter. Quintero says he's a mean kid when he gets in between the lines. And we've seen some mean football here from both sides. Cooper now going to air it out. Instead, run it out, dives forward for about a 6-yard pickup.
Good decision there by Cooper to pick up some yardage there to make it a third and manageable situation, but to kind of piggyback off of what you said about Jacob Slaughter, he's in that 6'1", 6'2", 270 range. If he was 6'3" to 6'5", I think that he would have FBS offers.
Now Cedar Park on a 3rd and 4. They check back to the sideline. 8:54 left in this second quarter. Only their second possession of the night. Hill on a stretch run, hesitates in the backfield, and that one blown up by a host of Georgetown Eagle tacklers. Looked like Mitchell there with his fist up, signaling he's got a 4th down coming up.
Well, Mitchell was first to the ball, but good gang tackling there by the Georgetown defense to make sure that Trey Hill didn't get loose from the initial contact and pick up the first down.
And 4th and 5, and Cedar Park's going to hurry up to the ball, and instead it's going to be a timeout. This timeout's brought to you by family-owned Community Coffee, a proud partner of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. They save 15% on their great-tasting, high-quality blends with code TEXASFOOTBALL at communitycoffee.com. Try Community Coffee today. And I know we're energized up in this broadcast booth right here, Powers, because these two teams are going at it on the field in this district championship game.
Well, I really love what Cedar Park has done on offense, added some new wrinkles in, going up tempo, trying to keep Georgetown's defense on the back of its heels. I'm looking at David Cooper's stats coming into this game. I see 1,600 passing yards and 17 touchdowns through the air. I don't see anything about him running the rock.
Again, a wrinkle from Cedar Park that I was not expecting as much, but Cooper has been more than capable, showing off the athleticism. Let's see if they ask for it here. 4th down and about 5, 8:19 left in the second quarter. Baker, the up back, now in motion. Cooper rolling to his right, sees a lane, he's going to go for it. He's got the first down with the truck stick. And he's going to flex on a little bit.
Tremendous job right there by Cooper to be able to pick up the first down in a money situation. They needed that. They converted.
Cooper looking. He's going to fire for Porter, the game changer. Outstretched touchdown. Drop it in a bucket for Porter.
Tremendous touch on that pass. Porter was able to just stay in stride and run underneath of the ball. David Cooper is having a tremendous start to this football game tonight.
And Cedar Park's going to keep the offense on the field, looking to take a 1-point lead. Are we going to have a little bit of a Philly special? I think so. No, a fake Philly special. Trey Hill going to take it off the edge, but there is a flag. Some mustard on the lettuce out there.
And I think this is going to go on the offense just due to the fact that the referee didn't care if he got into the end zone, right?
Illegal formation. 5 in the backfield. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Retry.
Hey, sometimes when you draw a play up in the sand, you're going to get an illegal formation. We'll see if this changes the decision from Cedar Park. Now backed up to about the 8-yard line, and yeah, they're going to send on the PAT unit. Trying to tie this game up at 15-all with 7:55 left in the second quarter. So not an easy PAT here. About a 28-yard kick. And it's no good.
Had plenty of leg, just couldn't get it through the uprights right there. Monumental penalty on the 2-point try, backs them up, and they can't convert on the extra point. 15-14, though, we've seen plenty of offense in this game.
Both teams have had 2 drives, 7:55 left in the second quarter. Neither defense has an answer. And we will see if Cedar Park's Black Rain defense, as they're dubbed, can come up with one here on this next drive. It's a clear black sky, but I know Cedar Park is known for the Black Rain. It hasn't had any precipitation out there just yet, Greg Powers.
The only thing that's been raining out here tonight is it's been raining touchdowns.
And we'll see if Georgetown can get another one now with a 1-point lead. And this will make it interesting, too, now, because if they did get a touchdown here, do you go for 2 and try to extend the game to a 9-point lead? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Because the Cedar Park defense, I know, made some adjustments.
Well, what Georgetown's going to do on the extra point is they're going to put it out there and see if they have a disadvantage from the defense. If they feel like the defense is lined up wrong, they're going to go for 2 every time. If the defense has got it pegged, they're going to kick the extra point. So I think it's more about the formation versus what do they want to do on that play.
Cade Erickson took the kickoff and gets upfield to about the 35-yard line. Pretty good starting field position for Georgetown.
That's been a common theme. I think this is about where they started on the last drive. They've been starting around the 35, 40-yard line on all 3 of their possessions so far, and that's due to the fact that Cedar Park doesn't want to take a chance and kick it deep to Xavier Warren, which I totally back.
Yeah, if I was a coach on the field right now, and there's many reasons I'm not, but I would not be kicking to Xavier Warren. But Georgetown's going to give him the ball on offense, as we've seen. He'll line up at the top of your screen now. Trips look at the bottom of the formation. Now Jet Walker's going to come back in next to his quarterback. McDougal going to pull it on the read option once again, and that is another drop from Georgetown receivers who's got some slippery hands tonight. The passing lanes are there, and McDougal's firing it, but just a little inconsistent so far from the Georgetown wide receivers. Let's see if they can shore up those hands because they can start ripping off some big gains.
Yeah, the spacing is there. The timing is there. They're just not being able to corral the football right now. But as we move forward throughout the course of this game, you have to be enthused about the fact that those guys are open, especially if you're a Georgetown fan. If you're a Cedar Park fan, maybe not so much.
Walker going to take the rock. He's up the gut, and look at the head of steam he's got. Across the 50-yard line, Greg Powers, that's a bad man.
You know what? He wanted to run over that safety, right? And I think if he wanted to run around that safety, it's a touchdown. So if we're going to have a small critique out of the gates for Jet Walker, he's looking for contact right there where I think he could have ran around the contact and scored.
But it's the oldest cliche in the book. These teams don't like each other, and that goes for Jet Walker, who's running angry tonight.
Everything's downhill with him tonight.
McDougal fires once again. This one a little high and hot.
Good coverage right there, too, by number 30, Weston Kendrick, the cornerback. That was a little bit tighter than what we've seen so far, making it a little bit tougher for McDougal to fit that ball into a tight space. He had to put some air under it because if he would have threw it behind him, it would have been a pick.
Georgetown going to huddle it up now. Second down and 10, 7:04 left in the first half. Just across midfield line where they have lived tonight. Westfall in motion. Jet Walker off the right side. And it didn't look like much, but that's a gain of 4 and sets up a 3rd and 6.
But that's what you want to do when you're trying to contain Jet Walker. You really need to get him before he gets a head of steam going, because whenever he gets that forward lean going downhill, he's going to be very tough to tackle. So if you're tackling him for a 3 and 4 yard gain, that's a huge win.
6:30 and ticking on the clock. 3rd down and 6. McDougal in the shotgun. Westfall in motion once again. This is the Jet Walker all the way. Nice cut, nice truck. And it looks like he's got the first down.
Dragging 2 defenders with him right there to pick up the last 2 yards to move those chains. Jet Walker is a man who was not going to be denied on that run.
And Powers, you said he might be the most physically impressive recruit you've seen in the class of 2026. Am I putting words in your mouth there?
It's hard because Texas is so deep with talented guys. Cozy Akpala from Maid Creek down in Katy, that is a guy that really passes the eyeball test as well. But I doubt that there's a guy that you see line up that you're not going to recognize as quickly as you're going to recognize Jet Walker.
McDougal on the bootleg. Walker goes up and gets it now down the sideline, push out of bounds, about a 5-yard gain. Clock is going to keep running now at 5:30 and counting. Plenty of time for this Georgetown offense, looking to get a score and extend this lead up 15-14 right now.
And this has been a nice balanced drive too. They started to slow things down a little bit, running some clock, making sure the Cedar Park defense stays out there on the field. They have a 1-point advantage right now due to the extra point, but we'll see how it all plays out.
And Walker once again going to try to bounce it out. There's nothing doing there. He's cut it all the way back. Cedar Park does a nice job of gang tackling. It looks like number 99, Brooks Buffard.
Did you say Coach Quintero said that he might be the best defensive lineman he's coached?
That I did, program? Powers.
That's exactly the type of effort they need out of their defensive front. You know, you had a guy penetrate behind the line of scrimmage, force Jet Walker off of his game where he initially wanted to take that football. He had to come up with an alternate route, and Brooks Buffard is sitting there laying in wait to bring him down.
3rd down and 8, ball on the 31-yard line, 4:25 left in the first half. Huge down for Georgetown. McDougal flush to his left. Got to get rid of it. That one is almost picked off. It looked like number 92, Lucas Bratton, and a host of Cedar Park defenders were in the backfield.
Yeah, Jimmy Aluku coming around from his spot at defensive end, putting some pressure, running right by his offensive lineman there. But there were 3 Cedar Park guys closing in on McDougal, forcing that errant pass in a 4th and 8 situation here. What's Georgetown going to do?
Well, they're going to have a timeout to think about it a little bit more. On the 31-yard line, 4:13 left in the half. Hey, Friday Night Football is here, and Hometown is trusted by thousands of schools across the nation to make game days effortless. Sell tickets online, easily scan them at the gate, track sales in real time, and keep your community connected with a free athletic website. Make every game a Hometown game. Visit hometown.com to learn more. And talk about ticketing. The stands are packed here in Georgetown at Bach Field. Both fan bases showed out for this district championship game.
This is what Friday nights are all about to me, Carter, and it set the stage a little bit for the fans at home. Very live atmosphere here in Georgetown. We got the blood moon out, full moon. It really looks like Texas high school football. This is the quintessential Texas high school football game, coming down to the wire. Last game of the season, trying to determine who's going to be the 8-5A Division I district champion.
Blood moon and a lot of blood on the field. Bad blood between these two teams, that is. And 4th down and 8 now. Ball on the 31, and the offense is going to stay out there. Chuck Griffin laying it on the line on Georgetown. Now Cedar Park wants to talk this one over. Hey, you can't save your timeouts for the second half.
No, I like the timeout there. See what Georgetown was bringing on offense. See if you can counter it now with the defensive set that you prefer right here. Because look, this could be the game-changing play. Every time that each one of these offenses has touched the rock, they've scored a touchdown. If your defense can get off of the field without giving up any points, you have to think that the momentum is swinging into Cedar Park's favor. On the other sidelines, Georgetown's looking to convert here and keep the momentum in the 1-point lead in their favor.
Well, we've mentioned how Georgetown went 12 years without beating Cedar Park at any level, but that's really flipped in the last couple of years with Georgetown winning the district championship in 2022 and 2024. And Chuck Griffin said it's because they put time and energy into fielding 5 football teams. You don't see this often in 5A, but they have A and B teams at every level so that no matter what, by their junior year, every guy has played 20 games. And every year they see a guy who is on the JV team step up as a senior. That is Caleb Hennessy, the guard, this year. Let's see if they run behind him. And they're going to throw it instead off the right guard's butt. The strike, and it's caught by Walker. He's making guys miss, going down inside the 5, and the ball is out on the ground. But they're going to say Walker was on the ground first.
What a play right there, and I think this is what happened from our vantage point up here. It looked like the Cedar Park defender batted the ball down. McDougal was looking for Braylon Westfall. The defender got his hands on it and knocked it into the arms of an awaiting Jet Walker, who exploded for a big gain.
So even in the rare time they're not looking to feed Jet Walker's still going to get fed.
It goes in the stat box all the same right there. If you're a Jet Walker fan or if you're a Minnesota fan at home watching this game, to the good, right? To the good of Jet Walker. And to the Georgetown offense.
1st and goal inside the 5-yard line now. Split back look. Jet Walker going to get the rock going east to west, but still moving up the field and strides into the end zone. Jet Walker for his 3rd touchdown tonight. We are still in the first half.
So smooth, so electric, so hard to tackle. But if you don't get a hand on him, you're not going to have a chance. And Jet Walker hit the edge of the offensive line there and hit his nitrous button to scoot into the end zone right there for 6.
This is what we discussed at the beginning of the drive. Georgetown is going to keep the offense out momentarily. They could push this to a 9-point game. Up 21-14 before the extra point. Instead, they're going to kick this one. Trying to make it 22-14 with 3:23 left in the first half. So Cedar Park going to get the ball down 22-14 with 3:23 left, and we will step aside momentarily. Timberwolves got the ball when we come back.
Yo, these KDs are fire. Bro, you work here?
Whatever, kid. Take notes. Yo, I can go all pro in these.
I can guard you and route you up.
You sure about that?
Not anymore.
Fellas looking for a quarterback?
The goal!
Billy needs cleats. You're right, Billy. These do bring out my eyes.
Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's.
Dick's is the GOAT.
Introducing Elite Source Evaluators, your source for evaluating top athletes. We identify, rank, and project top high school players and provide insight and exposure that helps players stand out in the recruiting process. Get ready for the 2026 ESC Gridiron Showcase. This invite-only event brings together the top high school football talent from across Texas, giving them an opportunity to go head-to-head with the best, showcase their skills, and get recognized by colleges around the country. The road to the next level starts here.
Back from commercial break just in time for Cedar Park's offensive drive. Powers, what are you looking for here from Cedar Park? Have scored both times they got the ball. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But what I'm looking for here if I'm Cedar Park is a drive that takes this 3 minutes and 23 seconds virtually off of the clock. Whether you come away with 3 or you come away with 6, it's a win because Cedar Park will get the ball to open up the second half, and all we've seen is scores. So this has been a score fest. The offense have proven that they can get the ball in the end zone. This could be a situation where an extra possession could be a really big deal.
Could be a game-changing drive, but it starts off getting stuffed by Georgetown's defense, and the linebacker Gavin Smith, the junior, stonewalled it.
I mean, out of the gate, this has been the most aggressive that this Georgetown defense has played, at least in the games that I watched leading into this game. This is a defense that really tries to make sure that they don't give up the big play, but they're playing a bit more aggressive tonight.
Cooper going to roll out left. It sets a throwback screen. And number 26, Tyler Leninger, was all over that one. That's a defensive lineman getting out there to blow up that screen pass.
Yeah, they had a lot of green jerseys out there around the ball. That was going to be a tough window to fit it into. I like the play call design. It was just outmanned by the Georgetown defense.
So 3rd down and 7, 2:48 left in the first half. I mentioned this is a pivotal drive for Cedar Park's offense, trying to go 2 for 1 here. To close out the half, they will get the second half kickoff. But in danger of giving it right back to Georgetown. Cooper rolling to his left. He's wanting it all flushed out. Crossing the field. Lets it fly and just out of reach for Johns. There is a flag down on the field, though.
You know what? That's not going to go in the stat book, but he just flicked his wrist and threw the ball about 35 yards. That was an impressive pass on the move. He didn't hook up with the wide receiver, but he showed that he can escape the pocket and get the ball to an open guy down the field with just a little bit of space.
So it's going to be a holding call on Cedar Park. Will be declined by Georgetown. 4th and 8 upcoming, and Cedar Park's going to have to punt. And now, talking about Cedar Park having a chance to go 2 for 1, Georgetown could score here, getting the ball back with 2:40 left.
Yeah, and they only ran about 43 seconds off of the clock right there on that offensive possession, so plenty of time right here for the Eagles to operate a full offensive game plan. They don't necessarily have to be in a hurry-up offense.
Kicks away, and it's a low line drive. It's going to take a bounce, and Jaheim Porter making a difference on special teams tonight.
Tremendous job, though, by Cade Erickson as Porter was bearing down on him. He secured that football. I thought for sure it was going to be a fumble, but Erickson made sure that he didn't make a huge mistake on that play. Junior defensive back right there showing that he has a little bit of awareness to make those tough things look easy.
Especially, too, because if he lets that ball roll, it could be down inside the 30-yard line. So he saved his offense about 10 yards of field position.
Carter, I don't think I would have been able to hang in there like that with Jaheim Porter bearing down on me. You're talking about 215 pounds of muscle, but Erickson did a tremendous job there.
And Georgetown's offense has not been stopped yet. And more clearly, Jet Walker has not been stopped yet. He's running all over Cedar Park right now. Let's see if that continues here. McDougal going to hand to Walker, who cuts up in the hole, and that's going to be 6 yards. He's got some moves going in the hole, Powers.
Well, one of the things that I like that I'm seeing in person right now from Walker is because he's so big and strong, you'd think he'd be mechanical, but the way he's mechanical is to his benefit because he's always moving forward.
Walker going to get the first down, tackled by number 4, Bennett Patton. And Patton has been a difference maker for Cedar Park's defense this year, and he's a guy who's a senior boundary outside linebacker, one of the defensive captains, 84 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 4 interceptions on the year. They played him in spots last season, but in the offseason, he just took the position over, got much bigger and stronger, and we'll see if he can come up big now with 2 minutes left in the first half and Georgetown driving.
And you mentioned it's the 2-minute warning now. They were able to run the football there because they had plenty of time to operate. Now as this clock starts to tick down, you have to have some urgency. You have to be able to make sure that you get some points on the board here because you got the ball on the plus side of the field with a first down. But I say that, and you have an option like Jet Walker, who's having one of his best games of the year already in the first half, scoring 3 touchdowns. But throughout the course of this year, Carter, they've had a 3-headed monster back there at running back. When Jet Walker gets tired, they can just turn to another guy to give him a refresher, let him get some air, and the offense really doesn't miss a beat.
Well, talking to Chuck Griffin this week, Jet Walker had 2,000 yards last year, and this year he's got about 730. He's averaging 130 yards per game, which is fantastic, but has not been used as much. And I asked Chuck Griffin about this, and he said, we're just wanting to keep these guys healthy this year for the district championship, for the playoffs, and now we're seeing Walker unleashed tonight. He's taking about 90% of the carries. And now McDougal going to throw a screen to Westfall. Nice jitterbug move in the middle of the formation. 1:51 left and counting on the clock.
And how about number 78, Sam Lopez, and number 71, Caden Shear, out there leading the charge on that pass play. If I'm a secondary guy and I see those guys bearing down on me, I'm not going to know what to think.
1:30 left in the half. Dougal looking to air it out. Pump fake, swings it out to Walker, and that's going to fall to the turf, incomplete. Going to bring out a 3rd and 7. The ball on the 45-yard line.
And Cedar Park has had these opportunities throughout the course of this game to get off of the field, to make Georgetown get into a situation where it's 3rd and long or 4th and long. But the Eagles have continued to execute in those crunch time moments to move the chains or even score a touchdown. Here's another opportunity for the Cedar Park defense to recapture the momentum of this game.
Would be a huge defensive stand to give their offense the ball back, start the second half. Sending a linebacker blitz. It's picked up nicely. Now the blitz gets home. And that's going to be incomplete. 4th and 7 upcoming. 1:19 left in the half.
And this creates an interesting situation here with an 8-point lead. I know that Georgetown's going to want to go for this. But if you do and you don't convert, that gives Cedar Park the ball back with plenty of time to make something happen before halftime. And you see the punt unit coming onto the field. This is a call that I agree with in this situation.
I agree with it too, Powers, because if you go for it and miss it here, that gives Cedar Park the ball back with excellent field position and more than enough time to go down the field and get a 2-for-1 situation. Nice job to catch a high snap by Westfall. That's why you got a wide receiver serving as your punter too, and pins them inside the 20. Terrific job.
Yeah, great job by Westfall there to, one, grab that. It looked like it might sail over his head, but then pin the team back inside the 20-yard line. No return.
So now 1:14 left in the half. Cedar Park, the ball at the 20-yard line exactly. Got to go 80 yards for a 2-for-1 scenario here. Reminder, they do get the ball to start the second half, so again, golden opportunity here for the Timberwolves.
And I'm looking for a Trey Hill run out of the gate here to see if they can get some positive yards and get into that up-tempo offense.
And they're going to fake it to Trey Hill. This looks like a busted play. And Cooper throws across the body, making something out of nothing.
He is a fun quarterback to watch. Improvisational qualities to his game. I kind of liked him on the tape coming in, but I'm even more impressed with him in person.
And that was Brendan Baker, the up-back tight end who's come up huge for them a lot of times this season. Now letting Cooper cook once again. He's got all the time in the world. He can bake a cake back there in the pocket. Instead, just goes out of bounds. Flag down on the field. We'll see what this call is.
It's back in the secondary, Carter, so this is going to be an interesting call. It's on the offense.
Illegal substitution. 12 men on the field. 5-yard penalty.
Oh, it's on the defense.
Illegal substitution, 12 men in the huddle for the Georgetown defense. It's going to set up a first down and 5 now at the 40-yard line. 52 seconds left, plenty of time to make some noise for the Cedar Park offense, especially when you got Cooper back there making plays like this.
And it's important to note that they still have 2 timeouts left, so they can press it over the middle of the field here for a big gain if they want to call that timeout and reset the offense and make sure that they can keep this drive alive.
Trey Hill up the gut. And he's going to be tackled by Mitchell, the 3-year starter, who I can feel Mitchell's hits in the press box tonight, Powers.
Yeah, this is a dude who really brings it. I mean, I got to say that he's matching Jaheim Porter step for step tonight.
Running backs matching each other, linebackers matching each other, and the quarterbacks matching each other as Cooper goes out of bounds, showing off the wheels. Some high-level football going on right now. We expected nothing less for the District 8 5A D1 championship game. These two teams are mirror images of each other, rivals. Both play at the same style of smash mouth football. But Cooper has been airing it out tonight, and especially on this last drive. Throwback screen now. And there's a lane there for Cedar Park. Down inside the 40-yard line, almost at the 35. Number 2, Jonah Johnson, the junior wide receiver. Feels like their speed guy over there on a quick screen.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And this is a Cedar Park offense, Carter, that has continued to get better week over week, game after game. But when you look at the stats, they've been only held under 30 points one time all season. So this is an offense that can score in a hurry. And if you're the Georgetown defense, you have to keep that in mind, right? They can take the top off, they can score in a long run, or they can throw the rock to convert as well.
Well, Cedar Park stopping themselves right now with a penalty on holding is going to bring this to second down and about 11. And they're on their own 45 instead of inside Georgetown's 40, so costly penalty there. Let's see if Cooper can make up for it. Sticking in the pocket, throwing across his body. That's Johns, the possession receiver, who's always coming up with a big play when they need it. He's at the sticks.
Tremendous job there by Reagan Bollinger, bringing him down short of the first down. Cedar Park's going to have to call a timeout with 16 seconds left, but it's going to be a 3rd and 1 situation.
Timeout Cedar Park to talk this one over. 16 seconds left, down 22-14. And again, they will get the ball back to start the second half. But time is a ticking. It's a precious resource for them because they don't have much more of it left to go about 40 yards.
And I guess I'm mistaken there. It looked like they brought him down short of the line to gain, but they give him the momentum for the first down, so it did move the chains here. 16 seconds to go. 1st and 10, Cedar Park.
Cedar Park's offense back on the field. 16 seconds left. Not a lot of plays in the playbook for this type of scenario. Let's see what they can cook up. Cooper fires it to Porter. What a dime from Cooper, and Porter with the catch. He's come up huge multiple times in this first half.
Yeah, he is their go-to receiver. He's made a couple of big plays, setting up an interesting situation here. 10 seconds, one timeout. If they try to kick a field goal from here, it would be a 42-yard attempt. I'd like to squeeze out a few more yards here to see if I can put my field goal kicker in a better situation.
And the clock is running, 7 seconds left. I don't know if Cedar Park's coaches realize it. They're going to have to burn a timeout with 2 seconds remaining.
Before the clock expires, timeout, Cedar Park.
And I think that they thought that Porter went out of bounds there on that play.
Please put 4 seconds on the game.
So instead of having another play to try to get closer to the end zone or a touchdown, this is going to be a lengthy kick if they decide to kick it here.
And what they ruled on that last play there, Carter, is that his forward progress was stopped before he went out of bounds, and that's the reason that the clock was running.
So Cedar Park huddling up. Very interesting decision here. It's a low probability you can get a touchdown, especially if Georgetown starts playing prevent defense, but a lengthy kick.
Now, he missed an extra point, but it wasn't because he didn't have the leg for it. It was because he just missed it. It looked like he had plenty of power. 42 yards in high school, that's a lot to ask.
A lot to ask, and they're not going to. Instead, going to go for it here, and Georgetown going to send about 6 defenders at the goal line.
Including Xavier Warren, who comes in on certain situations for the Georgetown secondary.
So here we go, final play of the first half. Cooper looking to his left, dancing around, pressured. Now throws it to Hill, and Hill's going to get there into the end zone. The second effort, he is in.
What a tremendous play to close out the second quarter right here for Cedar Park. Trey Hill found as the escape valve. Well, when you're throwing the ball to Trey Hill, that's not just an escape guy. That's a guy who can score at will, and he does exactly that. What a tremendous play by Cooper to buy time, find Hill, who does the rest.
Trey showing why he is the king of the hill, and now Cedar Park is going to go for 2, it looks like. Down 22-20, no time left in the first half. Got a ref down and a stoppage of play now. Watching that replay, just what an effort by Hill. Looked like 3 defenders had a shot at him. They're going to reward him again. Up the middle, driving, about 10 defenders on him.
And he's in.
And he's in for the touchdown. We are tied up. What an ending to the first half of this district championship game. Cedar Park 22, Georgetown 22. Cedar Park gets the ball back to start the second half.
They are hyped up, powered by that late touchdown and the 2-point conversion by Trey Hill, putting the team on his back. If you're looking for a good player in Texas, come get Trey Hill.
And you can hear a pin drop on this Georgetown sideline right now. The momentum has completely flipped in Cedar Park's favor, even though it is a tie game. Powers, any first half takeaways before we take a break here?
Well, I'm looking forward to the break, Carter. That was a whole lot of action, a whole lot of scoring, 44 combined points between these two teams, and we're going to start the second half just like we did the first half, tied up.
So we'll step aside, catch our breath, get a Gatorade, meet us back here in about 28 minutes for a second half of what should be an instant classic here in the District 8-5A Division I championship game. Welcome back in for the second half of action in this District 8 5A D1 District Championship game. Score is tied at 22-all. Georgetown and Cedar Park are locked in an absolute slugfest, and we expected nothing less. Greg Powers, give us your big thoughts from the first half.
Well, the first half was dominated by both offenses. Jet Walker going for 139 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tip of the cap to Caleb Yum for the stats from the Austin American Statesman. But Trey Hill, he's a tremendous running back in his own right. His most instrumental play in that first half was a last-second touchdown reception where he powered over the goal line, bringing us back all knotted up, headed into the second half. District championship on the line, 22-22.
And that Trey Hill touchdown catch is really a game changer because it tied up this game and now gives Cedar Park the 2-for-1 opportunity. So Georgetown's defense facing a pivotal drive. And the kick's away, and we are underway for this second half of action. This one is returnable. There's a bit of a lane, bit of a crease, and Cedar Park brought down just past the 30-yard line.
Jonah Johnson did a tremendous job on that return, Carter, making a man miss, picking up some extra yardage, and some of the best field position start here off of one of the kickoffs that Cedar Park's had so far in this game. Had a lot of momentum to end that second quarter. Let's see if it carries over into the third.
And we'll see Cedar Park quarterback David Cooper back in action. I know he impressed you, Greg Powers, with some of his off-script ability. Here he's going to tuck it and run it himself off the left side, and this is a wrinkle to the Cedar Park offense we did not see a lot throughout the season, but tonight David Cooper's legs have been a huge emphasis.
Well, he chews up a lot of ground in a hurry. He's 6'4", 185 pounds, 190 pounds, and it looks like every time he takes a step, he's picking up 2 yards.
So first down and 10, ball at the 42-yard line. Cooper going to hand this one off to Hill. Bounces off a would-be tackler to about the 47-yard line. And that was number 20, Reagan Bollinger, on the tackle, coming up from his safety spot.
Tremendous job there by Bollinger to limit that play, but Trey Hill is a gritty, grimy running back, a guy who just puts on his work boots and does it every down.
Second down and 5, Cedar Park trying to get him to jump off sides. Down to Porter on the bottom of your screen. He has been the big play threat all night for Cedar Park. Had a nice touchdown catch that was dropped right in the bucket, and whenever they needed a big play, they're looking to Porter.
It looked like it was going to be a free play as the Georgetown movement on the defensive front looked like they were going to be offsides. They got back in time, so that was a key reception right there by Porter. He did pick up the first down.
First and 10, ball at the 46-yard line. Cooper going to tuck this one and run, cuts up the middle, gets north and south quickly. He's looking for a whole lot more than this first down to the 15-yard line before he is tripped up by number 19, Johnny Decker.
And Cooper comes up a little bit lame following that run. It looks like he's shaking it off as he goes back to the huddle. We haven't seen a whole lot of huddle. That's just a word play right there. But as he goes back to the offensive formation, Cooper limping just a little bit. We'll see if that impacts this game.
And Cooper is hobbled. He has been excellent for Cedar Park tonight. Looks like they're going to bring in the backup quarterback, number 10, Ethan Carlson, the sophomore. Gets a hug from his offensive lineman, Greg Powers.
Yeah, I love that too. The sophomore 2028 kid coming in here to lead the offense.
So Carlson takes his first snap, hands off to Hill. That'll get you involved in the game. And how about a touchdown from Trey Hill? Back-to-back touches and back-to-back touchdowns for Hill, the senior.
Trey Hill is starting to impose his will on the Georgetown defense as this game keeps going, as this game gets deeper into the night. Trey Hill is going to be more and more effective, and you're starting to see holes pop wide open as the Cedar Park offensive line does its job up front.
And good news for Cedar Park, Cooper is back in the ball game. How about Carlson, the backup, 1 snap and a 1 touchdown?
Wouldn't it be a nice luxury to just be able to turn around and hand it to Hill every time you were snapping the ball?
Cooper going to pull this one. Pocket breaking down around him. Rolls out to his left. He's got space. Truck sticks. He got a little injured on the last run. Shows no fear, though, with the ball back in his hands.
huge momentum shifting drive there for Cedar Park. Touchdown to end the first half, touchdown to open up the second half, extends its lead by 8:30 to 22, 10:35 left to go in the third quarter.
Panini America is a proud partner of the NFL and college football. Whether you're looking for trading cards of the hottest rookies like Travis Hunter or Ashton Genty, young stars like Arch Manning, Garrett Nussmeier, and Jeremiah Smith, or must-have superstars like Patrick Mahomes and CeeDee Lamb, PaniniAmerica.net is your destination. Download the Panini Direct app for free and start collecting with the click of a button. That's PaniniAmerica.net. Who do you collect? And Powers, I think a guy who might have his own Panini card here pretty soon is Georgetown running back Jet Walker.
Jet Walker or Trey Hill, give both of those guys one of those duo cards.
You know, I saw the Georgetown cheerleaders had made a big banner for the team to run through. It said, "Lay down the wolves." It's Hawaiian theme night, and Jet Walker's been at the beach tonight against the Cedar Park defense thus far. Let's see if Cedar Park came with some adjustments in the second half. Kick is up and away, and this one is out of bounds. Going to be an illegal procedure on Cedar Park, and Georgetown will start off with pretty nice field position.
And that's been a common theme as we went throughout the course of this game. They've had favorable field positions to start most of their drives. But now it's the second half, right? Both teams got a chance to look and see what they were going to be bringing schematically on the offensive side of the ball. Who's going to make the best adjustments coming out of halftime? We saw the Georgetown defense back on its heels during that Cedar Park drive as David Cooper gashed them on the ground, capped off by a long touchdown run by Trey Hill. What will Georgetown counter with their offensive sets?
We're about to find out. Powers is McDougal. He's going to line up in the shotgun. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line for Georgetown.
Got them bunched down here at the bottom of your screen too, Carter.
And McDougal looking that way, fires it out to number 7, Xavier Warren, who was getting targeted a lot in the first half.
Ross Sorrell blew that play up. He didn't get the stat line tackle, but he was the guy that made Xavier Warren redirect his position as his teammates came over to clean things up. Tremendous job right there by the Cedar Park defensive back. And I would call that a wrinkle by Georgetown right there, doing something a little bit different on the first play, and Cedar Park did a good job to combat it.
2nd down and 13 now for Georgetown. Going to hand to Jet Walker. No, it's a fake. And that is Westfall going to take it down the sideline. He's to the 50 across midfield, showing off the track speed. And he was caught out of bounds by Porter, Jaheim Porter. That is the linebacker. Jaheim Porter is a threat in the run game in between the tackle box, but showed off some speed there.
And great job there by Westfall, who had a couple of drops in the first half, bouncing back in the second half to show you that he can catch the rock and move the chains.
Georgetown once again on the Cedar Park's territory side. They have lived over there. McDougal rolling on a bootleg. Has Walker and said he's going to tuck and run. We haven't seen McDougal take off much tonight, but he shows he has the wheels too.
And it was wide open right there for McDougal. I think he made a tremendous call to not dump the ball off to Jet Walker, pick up some yardage on his own. 2nd and short situation. This is when the playbook empties right here, right? You can throw it deep. You can call out one of your gadget plays. I love 2nd and 5.
2nd and 5, ball on the 33, 9:15 and ticking left in the third quarter. Georgetown is down 8, but they have showed they will go for 2 on the drop of a hat. Are they going to get the chance? We'll find out. High snap corralled for Jet Walker, who is charging up the middle, and the first guy to stop him was number 90, Grant Clemens, the senior defensive lineman. But you're going to need more than one guy to tackle Walker tonight.
It's really impressive to see a running back take on a defensive lineman like that. He basically ran over the defender right there. It was the second man that drug him to the turf. This is a hard-running, big, physical running back who's also limping off the field right now. Looks like, if I'm guessing, it'd be cramps right there for Jet Walker as he's trying to walk it off.
And Walker going to go take a much-needed breather, but the good news is Georgetown has a stable of 2 other backs. And in this game now is number 32, Zechariah Guyton, the sophomore. McDougal flushed out of the pocket. It's picked off by Cedar Park. Huge play by number 30, Weston Kendrick, the junior cornerback. What a game changer from the Cedar Park Black Rain defense.
And from the very beginning, that play didn't look like it was going to work because there was a little bit of timing miscue between the quarterback and the running back as they were trying to hand it off or not hand it off as they worked in the RPO game. Big mistake right there by the Georgetown offense. Cedar Park takes advantage and looks to go up 2 scores.
And we mentioned how Georgetown brought the crowd. Well, Cedar Park going over their student section, who made the trip there, lined up on the away side. Both fan bases know how huge this game is, not only for the district title, but for bragging rights. And now Cedar Park has a chance to bust it wide open. And they're going to get it started with a run from Trey Hill down the sideline to the 40-yard line. Just like that, Cedar Park is threatening in Georgetown territory.
And this is a game we're talking about for the district championship, but I think the district MVP might be at stake here in this game as well. And Trey Hill is showing why he deserves to get that honor at the end of the season.
Cedar Park going to slow it down. New running back in the game, number 23, Cameron Graham, the junior. 7:59 and ticking on the clock. Cedar Park up 30-22, looking to extend the lead. It's going to be a handoff to Graham, who is stuffed by Tennyson Dean and a host of defenders. Tennyson Dean, his dad is the former head coach at Georgetown, now the athletic director, so a coach's kid. He plays with that football intelligence.
And he is the single game sack leader for Georgetown. Walked away with 4 sacks after last week's win, getting his name in the record books.
Cooper going to hand it off to Graham once again. And Cole Mitchell.
There goes Cole.
Tripped it up in the backfield.
This dude is a flat-out ball player, an eye-opener, a guy who has really put his fingerprints all over this Georgetown defense. Big play after big play, but he brings the energy as well. That's something I love to see in a linebacker.
And he had about 3 big hits that we could feel up in the press box in that first half. There, a shoestring tackle, but just as effective. It is 3rd down and 6 at the 37-yard line. Cooper pulls it, going for the edge. And number 20, Reagan Bollinger, once again, stops that play, helps string out Cooper. It's going to set up about a 4th down and 4.
No hesitation right here. Cedar Park's looking to go for the jugular. They want to go up 2 scores. They're not looking to mince words or anything like that. They want to score points.
And Georgetown knows how big of a play this is. The players are pumping up their fans. The fans are stomping their feet. Here we go, 4th and 4. Hand off to Graham, and he breaks 3 past the 30-yard line and has got an easy 1st down.
That's the junior running back right there. And if you're a Cedar Park fan, you're thinking about next year, you're thinking about the future. Cameron Graham is a name that you're going to want to make sure that you lock in because he is the guy that they'll turn to after Trey Hill's gone following the 2025 season.
And how about the job by the junior right guard, Brock Bungo, already a 2-year starter. He plays with a mean streak. He showed it off there. Graham, feed this young man. Makes a guy miss in the backfield. Tennyson Dean punches him out of bounds, along with number 21, Jihad Abdinur.
Tremendous pursuit there by the Georgetown defense, making Graham get outside of the tackles because the left tackle and the left guard right there, they were downfield blocking 7 yards. There was a huge hole there, but they stepped up to fill it, forced him to the outside for minimal gain, if a gain at all.
2nd down and 10 now, 5:40 left on the clock in the 3rd quarter. Ball at the 30-yard line. Playbook is wide open for Cedar Park. Bunch formation trips, now a man in motion. That's Baker. Cooper's going to pull, flag on the field. Cooper doesn't see it. He's going to charge ahead, step out of bounds. We'll check the laundry.
I'm not going to guess the penalties anymore, Carter. I'm 0 for 2. If I were a betting man, though, I'd say illegal procedure.
Let's see if you can go 1 for 3, Powers. Illegal shift, I'll give it to you.
That counts.
Sometimes you got to see one go through the net. So that's going to back it up for Cedar Park. 2nd down and 15 now at the 35-yard line. 5:20 left in the third quarter. Clock is stopped. And Cedar Park with an opportunity to blow this game wide open if they can stop with the self-inflicted wounds. And Graham is still in the game, Greg Powers.
And a little bit of an update there. Trey Hill's on the training table right now. Can't see what's going on over there, but that's the reason why he's not on the field.
And Cooper takes off once again, cuts upfield for a touchdown. Cooper showing off the wheels. Might as well be a mini Cooper out there the way he's driving down the field.
No Trey Hill, no problem. Cooper says, I'm just going to run it in myself. Made a nice, nifty move there to score 6, making a Georgetown defender left grasping at nothing but air.
And Cedar Park looking for a 2-point conversion to go up 38-22. Speed option with Cooper. No breather from his other touchdown. And he's in. Cedar Park is up 38-22 on Georgetown with 4:55 left in the third quarter. What a drive from Cooper and the junior running back Graham, while their heart and soul was on the bench there, getting a breather on the sideline.
Yeah, that was a tremendous drive right there by Cooper especially, who willed his team to the end zone. Tremendous touchdown run. Picked up the 2-point conversion with a hard earn. I mean, the Georgetown defense was all over him, but he escaped to just get that ball over the goal line. It's a game of inches sometimes, Carter, and that 1 inch right there made a huge difference in the score of this game. 16 points, 38-22.
Well, we mentioned that David Cooper out there running like a mini Cooper. It's got me thinking about cars, Greg Powers. And hey, Texas football fans, drive into your neighborhood Valvoline instant oil change for an expert oil change done in about 15 minutes so you never miss a kickoff. Find your nearest location at VIOC.com/Texas football. So a huge drive upcoming here for Georgetown. Down by 16 points, which is really a 2-possession game because they're going to probably go for 2 multiple times if they get these touchdowns here. But you got to get in the end zone first.
Yeah, you got to get in the end zone first. I don't think there's any question about whether they'll go for 2 or not at this point in the game, trailing by 16 points. But the Cedar Park defense come up with one of the key stops of the night. There hasn't been much defense. All these teams have both been scoring at will. So to be able to turn the ball over was a huge play.
And Westfall's got a crease, and he's going to take this one all the way. No one is going to catch the young man.
And I love to see this from Westfall, bouncing back with a strong second half already. Had a couple of drops in the first half. He said, don't worry about that. I'm going to put that in the rear view. I'm going to put that behind me. I'm going to put 6 points on the board, get Georgetown right back in the game.
He put those drops in the rear view just like he put those Cedar Park defenders in the rear view mirror as he charged on the end zone. Just tremendous resolve, like you mentioned, Greg Powers, where start of the game does not go his way, but he has been the MVP of the offense in this second half thus far.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit in the first half, but, I mean, this special teams coordinator for Georgetown really does a tremendous job with everything that they're doing in the third phase of the game. We talk about offense and defense, but a lot of times in these high school contests, the games can be won and lost on special teams.
Special teams, the most important phase of the game. We got rushing touchdowns, passing touchdowns, interceptions, kick return touchdowns. What more can you ask for in this district championship? Oh, and by the way, some 2-point conversion attempts. McDougal under center. Westfall in motion. Play action pass. McDougal airs it out. And is he in? Yes, he is. Regan Tarosian, the senior, took a knee at the goal line because the pass was a little low, but they count him in.
He was wide open. Tremendous play action right there. They had everybody going to one side. Tarosian was going to the other, and they love that gadget play with Tarosian. We were talking about some of the other playmakers in this offense. He's a guy that they go to on these types of plays quite often, and he takes advantage of it right there.
4:41 left in the third quarter, 38-30. Already 3 touchdowns in the second half of action, and we aren't even through the third quarter.
This is exactly what I expected coming into this game. These teams like to score points. I feel like the offenses had a clear-cut advantage over both of the defenses. I didn't know it was going to be this score-heavy, but I knew it was going to be something that we would want to buckle up for. And with 4 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the third quarter, there's still plenty of time left. We might see both teams hit 50 tonight.
Galaviz, the Georgetown kicker, ready to boot this one away. Let's see if Cedar Park can respond with a big kickoff return of their own. Instead, it'll be a fair catch at the 10-yard line, which will bring it up to the 25-yard line, of course. A smart, savvy play from the kick return man. And now I think my eyes are on if Trey Hill is back in the game, Powers.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching for, too, eagerly anticipating to see if number 21 comes back on the field. He did have to spend some time over there on the training table on that last drive. He's not over there anymore, so chances are good he might be coming back out.
And he is back there offset with Cooper. They scored without him, but they can't keep scoring without him. They need their main man back there, Trey Hill, with offers to Texas State and UTSA, and he has showed why tonight. And Hill's going to get the rock up the middle, got a lot of room to roll.
I love the way he slashes and moves in the middle of that Georgetown defense, making guys miss in the box, picking up big chunks of yardage. He's a tough, gritty runner that thrives in between the tackles, and he's just a whole lot of fun to watch. A traditional running back, a guy who you can depend on. And what I like about both of these running backs tonight, Carter, no fumbles so far.
Both taking care of the rock. Really only been one turnover tonight from both teams, so playing some clean football out there. It's been fun to watch. John's in motion. Hill takes the ball. And number 99, A.J. Stevenson, with the tackle up the middle, but still, Hill gets a gain of about 6.
Trey Hill is punishing defenders. If you're going to tackle this man, then you're going to have to pay the price, and he's making sure that throughout the course of the game, he's going to wear on you, right? He's going to get these tough, hard-earned yards. He's going to make you pay every single time he touches the rock.
Where there's a Hill, there's a way. And Trey Hill has been balling out tonight. They're going to give it to him once again. Actually, excuse me, that is the backup running back, Lucas Villoria. Another junior back there. They got a stable of backs, just like we've been talking about with Georgetown. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 4. 3 minutes left in the third quarter.
Junior tight end Cohen Burton coming onto the field with Trey Hill. I want to say that this is the Cedar Park equivalent to the heavy package.
And Hill takes it up the gut. It is a gang tackle, and he is going to get the first down. Just a punishing runner. Constantly hit before the first down marker, but he seems to always fall forward.
Yeah, he keeps his legs churning, keeps his feet moving, keeps picking up yards after contact.
Now 2:59 left in the third quarter. Looks like the officials are huddled up discussing something.
Just having a little friendly chat before we resume play, it looks like.
And this is the second time that Georgetown's had an illegal substitution with 12 men in the formation. That one doesn't totally matter because Hill got the first down anyway. Heavy set, but watch Jamal Porter now in motion. Instead, Hill is going to get the ball stiff arm through the crust of the earth and down near a first down. Going to be about 2nd and 2.
Nice little shoulder shimmy right there at the line of scrimmage to duck through a tackle and continue to pick up positive yardage right there. An advantage of about 5 yards. Instead of 2nd and 8, it's going to be 2nd and 2.
But Powers, I have a feeling.
That was football math. That was football math, Carter. I was off by 1 yard there.
Hey, we're not math guys, we're football guys, Greg Powers. And I bet you they're going to go to Porter here pretty soon in a formation like that. But for now, it's all Trey Hill. Tennyson Dean and A.J. Stevenson in on the stop for the Georgetown defensive line. .220 left in the third quarter. Cedar Park in no hurry here, up 38-30. Hand off to Hill, who Cole Mitchell flew in to the backfield, and while his tackle didn't bring Hill down immediately, he was the one who tripped him up.
I love the tempo that Cedar Park is playing with right now. We saw them go fast-paced. We see them slowing things down right now with an 8-point lead, giving up a touchdown on special teams. But they're trying to control the clock, make sure the Georgetown defense is out there on the field as long as possible right here, because Trey Hill is continuing to wear them down. They're rotating backs in and out now. They're trying to stay fresh. I just love the pacing that they're playing with tonight. What a well-coached squad.
Two well-coached ball clubs going at it, mirror images of each other. Both want to pound the rock, and Graham's going to get the tote now. And it doesn't matter what running back's back there sometimes for Cedar Park. When you're running behind this offensive line, you got space to work.
I really like that he runs with the low center of gravity, stays behind his pads. Whenever he hits the hole, he's going north and south.
Third and about 3. Graham going to get bottled up in the backfield. Looked like number 29, Easton Smith, was the first one to get to him. Hung on, for the cavalry to come.
And Reagan Bollinger also in on that tackle. We've said his name a whole lot tonight. He's a really quality player on that Georgetown defense. 4th and 3,
45 seconds in the third quarter. Trey Hill in the backfield.
The Georgetown fans are fired up for this snap.
This is a huge play in this ball game. Trey Hill going to get the rock and get the first down once again.
Tremendous awareness to know where those sticks were, know where that first down marker was, because it was that last twist, that last dive that allowed him to move the chains and pick up this first down, keep the Cedar Park offense on the field for what's going to be a very interesting first play of the fourth quarter.
And Cedar Park is going to take this one to the fourth quarter, pumping up the Timberwolves faithful that made the trip to Georgetown. We are in for one hell of a fourth quarter. Stick around with us. We'll be back right after the break.
I still remember Mom leaving work early to bring me to all my football games. Long before the Friday night lights, the road to the end zone starts right here. And behind every touchdown is a mom, making sure her players get there on time. At Garage Door Doctor, we've had mom's backs for over 38 years. From simple repairs to upgrades, Garage Door Doctor keeps moms and players in the game.
When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more than the doctor. Garage Door Doctor.
Friday nights are about more than football. They're about family, friends, and the community we call home. At Higginbotham, we prioritize people, protecting what matters most to you. From your home and car to your health, business, and employees, we're here with insurance, HR, and financial services to cover you on and off the field. Higginbotham. Higginbotham.com.
Welcome back in to Burkelbach Field. Cedar Park is up 38-30, and they're going to go for it. They already got the first down on a fourth down conversion, so it'll be 1st and 10, and they are driving inside the 30-yard line of Georgetown. Hill up the gut. He's like an index stock in an SPF 500. He's just so consistent. He's going to get a return for you, Greg Powers.
I'm going to use something weird to categorize his game right here. He's like a pinball machine. Those pinballs are always falling down at you. You got to hit him back. He's always coming. He never stops. He's relentless. Trey Hill's getting the rock. You know he's getting the rock, just like those pinballs are going to fall back every time he's getting the ball. And in the fourth quarter, who else do you want to give it to?
Georgetown's defensive line had trouble getting set, and it does not matter. Tennyson Dean in on the stop. He's been impressive in the second half, Powers.
Yeah, I really like Tennyson Dean. There are quite a few players on both of these defenses that have continued to play well, despite the fact that this has been a very offensive forward football game. They're asked to be out there down after down, play after play, and this is a tough task. These guys have been out there playing a lot of snaps, trying to defend this two talented running backs.
3rd and 4. This place is going crazy. And Cooper's going to take it off the right sideline, cut up. And that'll be close to a first down before he was tackled by Cole Mitchell. Once again, Georgetown thinks they stopped him short. Cedar Park thinks they have it. So many of these rushing attempts have been stopped right at the sticks.
They're calling it 4th down right here, 4th and inches. 6'4". If he was 6'5", he would have had a first down.
He's going to be hanging off his pull-up bar tonight. Stretch himself out, Powers. Well, 4th down and inches, and Cedar Park's going to go for this one. Birkelbach Field is loud right now, sensing how important this play is, and here we go. Hill up the middle. He's got more than enough.
I knew who was getting the ball. You knew who was getting the ball. Georgetown knew who was getting the ball, but the problem is that you can't stop it.
Yeah, with Trey Hill, knowing is about 10% of the battle. And here he goes, gets the ball again. He's outside now, making a couple guys miss, making a 3rd guy miss, and he is in for the touchdown. That is his 3rd touchdown tonight, where I thought he was dead to rights.
We've covered some very talented running backs throughout the course of the Rising Game of the Week all season long, Landon Williams, Callis, etc. But I don't think I've seen a running back with a nose for the end zone quite like Trey Hill. When he gets down around the 10-yard line, he's like, I'm scoring, and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
I had a voice crack on that one because that run was so exciting. I don't care. Trey Hill has got me excited. And so does David Cooper. Once again on a 2-point conversion. It is 46-30. Cedar Park has a 16-point lead.
And it's been a total momentum shift in this game from the standpoint when Trey Hill scored a last-second touchdown to end the second quarter. You could see the excitement on the Cedar Park sidelines as they were heading to halftime, and that has carried over into the second half.
This game is sponsored by Body Armor. Body Armor is more than a sports drink, and both these defenses need some body armor on the sideline right now because these offenses are having a day. High-scoring affair, 76 combined points between these two teams. But don't go away just yet because I have a feeling that Georgetown has something up their sleeves here for this upcoming drive.
Well, we haven't really got to see the Georgetown offense all that much here in the second half. One, because Cedar Park has relied on Trey Hill. They possessed the football for a really long time. And two, because the way they scored in the second half is on a long kick return touchdown by Westfall. So they just haven't had very many offensive opportunities, but they can still have plenty of time to crawl back into this game, trailing by 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions.
Cade Erickson, Xavier Warren, and Braylon Westfall are the return men for Georgetown.
Now what do? You got Xavier Warren back there, but Westfall has established himself as a guy who can hurt you.
And they're going to try Erickson, and he's going to get a couple yards. Didn't have as much chance to do something there, but he made the most of it. So 9:57 left in the ball game. Georgetown down by 16. Got to think they're going for 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions. And then they got to stop the Cedar Park offense.
That's key right here in this game. They haven't been able to stop them yet, but if they're going to win this game or have a chance to win this game, they have to come up with the defensive stop.
McDougal in the shotgun. Hands off to Walker, back in the game, showing no signs of the gimp that we saw last time he was on the field, limping off. He looks strong, going for a first down. Give this man the rock once again, except this time he is stood up by number 55, Jude Burke.
Tremendous play there, getting off the block, finding the rock, bringing Walker down before he could get a head of steam going, and that is how you stop Jet Walker. You can't let him get that forward lean. You can't give him any space to operate.
And now the other two running backs are in, Weston Stewart and Zechariah Guyton. Two backs offset McDougal. 2nd down and 8. He's going to pull from Stewart. Getting wrapped up in the backfield. Flags are down, but for the moment, Brooks Buffard with a sack.
And he's not very happy about these penalties. Maybe he got a hold of the face mask right there, but Brooks Buffard blew that play up.
Just got a little too excited when he got to the quarterback. Yanks on that face mask. Instead of a loss of 5, it's a gain of 15. Georgetown now inside the 40-yard line and threatening. 8:53 left in the ball game. Down by 16.
That's a huge drive-altering penalty because it was going to be 3rd and forever. Instead, it's a new set of downs right here on the plus side of the field.
Stewart and Guyton still in at running back. Stewart's going to get the ball off the right side. Carries Jaheim Porter for a couple extra yards. It's going to be about 2nd down and 4.
You know how I feel about bringing in another running back. Give it a little bit of change of pace. Give a different look to the defense. Jaheim Porter with a sound tackle right there. But the running back was a little bit more shifty than what Jet Walker is. So whenever Jet comes back into the game, you have to make an adjustment to that.
And just showing the depth that Georgetown has in the running back room. Jet Walker grabs the headlines, but Stewart and the sophomore Guyton are both game breakers. And there's Guyton, the sophomore, plowing ahead before his forward progress is stopped by Porter, but not before 1st down.
One of the things I love about doing this Rising Game of the Week is looking at the guys who are going to be stars, the guys that are going to be stars in the future, and Guyton is a guy that I think is going to be the face of this Georgetown offense moving forward after 2025.
Yeah, here's the Guyton, Zechariah Guyton. Georgetown still doing a mini huddle. 7:30 and ticking left in this game. Got to get a touchdown here to keep this one close. Guyton off the right side, met by Porter, but Guyton, look at the power from the sophomore.
Good burst in the hole right there, too. His initial burst got him past the line of scrimmage, give him some green grass to run to, picks up 9 yards.
It's going to be 2nd down and 1 at the 16-yard line. Just a methodical drive from Georgetown. But the clock now is becoming a bit of a factor. Not a huge factor, but 6:50 left. Got to score and get a stop and get another score. McDougal hands it off to Guyton, makes a man miss in the backfield. And he was stood up by Madden Keeve. Madden, that's a football name, and that's a football player down there.
Good run right there, though, by Guyton to move those chains. 6 minutes and 30 seconds and counting. And we're getting into the point of the game. Whenever they took possession of this ball, I couldn't help but be conservative-minded. And the way I think about it is like we have got to have an opportunity to get 3 scores if I'm an Eagles fan, right? Now you're getting into the situation where you got to convert if you score a touchdown on the 2-point conversion. That's just as big as a play as any other play in the game.
McDougal hands off to Guyton once again. This one's not going to go anywhere. Looked like number 44, Jimmy Aluko, was the one who tripped him up.
Lucas Bratton out there, too, a defensive lineman, showing that he's going to run the field and try to make a play.
And it's been clear skies in the November sky, but this is where Cedar Park needs their black rain defense to stand tall. 2nd down and 8. 5:30 left in the ball game. McDougal, hands off. Walker driving towards the end zone. He is down at the 2-yard line, but has the first down. It'll be first and goal.
And I love that. We talked about Jet Walker getting a little bit of a break, giving a little bit of a different look. First run, he comes in and gashes Cedar Park.
Walker gets the ball back once again, driving. It's a rugby scrum, and Cedar Park's going to win that one. Down inside the 1.
Good job by the Cedar Park defense right there. Jet Walker's big and strong. It didn't matter on that play. They used the team of tacklers to bring him down short of the goal line. Even more importantly, precious seconds are continuing to tick off the clock right here.
And a timeout is called. I'm not sure by who. It looks like an injured Cedar Park player. And we're going to take a moment to go to break.
Legacy, that isn't built in 4 quarters. It's how you change the game. Icons don't copy or imitate. They build and innovate. You can study the film. He's flipping the script. Milestones, just the results of the work. Never the reason for it. He never chased stats, but the numbers do speak. And 1-5 says 1 of 1.
Hello, Candace.
Not you again.
Me again. Remember our last oil change? Your boyfriend said he knew a guy who knew a guy. None of those guys knew what they were doing, including you, Todd.
Silence your oil change anxiety at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch our experts change your oil right from your car.
Thanks for coming in.
And finish in about 15 minutes. Valvoline. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Welcome back into Burkle-Bach Field. Jet Walker taking a direct snap and trucking into the end zone. That's a touchdown. We can see it clearly from up here. Georgetown has inched closer in this game. And now, interesting call here, Powers. Do you kick or do you go for 2? You were down 16 before this. Now you are down 10.
Oh, yeah, you're going for 2 right here. Georgetown might have went for 2 anyway, but they have to in this situation. Touchdown number 4 for Jet Walker right here on that last play. They like to utilize him on these 2-point conversions. We saw him throw for a 2-point conversion earlier in this game. I love the little wildcat with Jet Walker, right? Like, you know he's getting the ball. You know he's coming downhill. It gives him a couple of feet to get things going and moving forward. I love that formation here from Georgetown.
This is a huge 2-point conversion, and you know it's monumental because Georgetown's going to have to use a timeout to talk this one through. Hey, while we got a timeout and a break in the action here, Powers, let's talk about Dave Campbell's playoff bracket reveal show coming out on Saturday night tomorrow, 10:30 p.m. Live reveal of every bracket from every classification. We'll have Greg Tepper, Matt Stepp, Ashley Pickle, Mallory Hartley, all giving you breakdowns of every matchup from every classification. I know where I'm tuning into on Saturday night.
No doubt about it, because the playoff matchups determine the teams that are going to be advancing deep into the playoffs. In my opinion, every game is for seeding throughout the regular season, but the real season starts in the playoffs. Who's going to win the state championship this year at AT&T Stadium? Well, you can start your playoff journey tomorrow night on the playoff bracket reveal show on Dave Campbell's Texas Football, all of our streaming platforms.
The playoff journey is 6 weeks to forever. And it starts off with Dave Campbell's on all of our platforms, YouTube, text, and live. You can catch us on social media, too. Playoff Bracket Reveal Show, sponsored by Dick's Sporting Goods.
You know, I can't think of a year that I've been doing this that most of the brackets aren't as wide open as they are this year. 6A D2, 5A D1, even 6A D1, some of the bigger classifications, the biggest of the big in Texas high school football, those things are wide open this year. There's no clear-cut favorites in any of them. A lot of people are talking about South Lake Carroll. They've been the #1 team wire to wire, but I've got my eyes on Prosper as well. That's a big physical team, and that's a game that I hope I get to see in the 3rd round of the playoffs.
And these are 2 big physical teams that we're getting to watch at Burkle-Bach Field, and a huge 2-point conversion attempt for Georgetown. Need to cut this game to an 8-point deficit, and the snap is bobbled by McDougal. Don't often go under center, and this time with a bobbled snap. Now they're going to have a 10-point deficit, which puts Georgetown in a bit of a bind here with 4:32 left in the game.
Yeah, it puts them in a bit of a bind because you have to now find a way to stop Trey Hill. You know that he's going to be getting the rock because they want to keep the clock moving. Both teams will want Cedar Park with 3 timeouts and Georgetown only with 2 timeouts left, setting up an interesting situation down by 10. If they can get another score before Cedar Park scores, could it be an onside kick situation? And that always gets fun in November in Texas high school football. There's been so many instances that I can recall that the onside kick has went in the favor of the team that was trailing, and we've seen some miraculous comebacks.
And let's see if they come out with an onside kick here. 4:32 left in the ball game. We've already seen a special teams kick return touchdown. Can we see Georgetown get a special teams fumble recovery, or do they chance it right here?
Well, they haven't been able to come up with a stop on defense, so I got to think that they try to get the ball back into their offense's hands right here.
And Powers, you've called it correctly. 2 kickers here. Don't know which way the ball's going to go. Cedar Park's got the hands team out. And I'll tell you what, number 85, Jacob Herrera, the junior wide receiver, showing off the hands on the special teams unit. That's a massive play.
Tremendous job right there just to cushion that ball into his body, make sure it doesn't slip out. He looked like a shortstop going down to one knee to make that field that ball cleanly.
Well, games shape futures. Bus rides build bonds. Coaches change character. And at Dick's Sporting Goods, we believe that sports have the power to change lives. And we're proud to partner with Dave Campbell's in its mission to get athletes in the game. Gear up for your next season today in-store at Dicks.com. Every season starts at Dick's. And both these seasons started in August 2-a-days, and they're going to end, well, not end right here because they got the playoffs, but regular season ends in the district championship game. Let's see who can be a legend right here. Is it David Cooper off the left side? Has some space. Brought down by Cole Mitchell once again, who brings the boom, but not before Cooper gets the first down.
Little loose with that football at the end of that run, giving the Georgetown fans on the sidelines a little bit of hope. But the ball down, moving the chains. Clock continues to tick, 4:26 and counting.
First down and 10, ball at the 41-yard line, and there's something to monitor, Powers, because Cooper has been a little loose with the football, carrying it away from his body. And you got to think Georgetown defense is punching at that ball to get a game-changing play. Down 10, they need some magic. And Cedar Park in no hurry. Play clock down below 5 seconds. Hands off to Hill off the left side. And number 20, Reagan Bollinger, once again, called his name plenty of times tonight. Bollinger is balling tonight from the secondary, coming up in run support.
Yeah, he's always around the football making a play, whether he's getting a tackle or just making sure that he helps one of his teammates out who's around the ball. He's in relentless pursuit.
And Cedar Park is bleeding this clock now, 3:20 and ticking. Georgetown has 2 timeouts, does not want to use one just yet. 2nd down and 8. Cooper gives to Hill, sees some space, makes a cut, and he's off to the races. Trey, king of the hill, for yet another score.
Go ahead and stamp it. I'm giving him my 8-5A Division I District MVP Award, powered behind a tremendous game tonight, extending the Cedar Park lead. Maybe they won't go for 2 now. Do they have a kicker?
I think we're about to find out, because Trey Hill might have just put this game out of reach. Emphasis on might, the way Georgetown can score on a moment's notice. But Trey Hill has just been sensational tonight. It is 52-36 pending the extra point. And Jonah Johnson punches that extra point through. It is 53-36. Cedar Park is 3 minutes away from the District 8-5A Division I championship if they can hold on here and the Black Rain defense can bring the storm in that Georgetown backfield, but not if Jet Walker has anything to say about it.
Tremendous second half here by the Cedar Park offense, who really relied on a heavy ground game, so really centered around Trey Hill. But David Cooper, the 6'4", 185-pound junior quarterback, was also a threat with his legs, and his ability to be able to pull the ball down and run has really popped things wide open for this Cedar Park offense, who continues to put up a lot of points week after week. Did I mention that they only scored less than 30 points one time this year?
So the offense has put up half 100. Can the defense limit this Georgetown offense? We're about to find out. And this one's booted up into the November night sky. Braylon Westfall takes it, and he's got a little bit of space before Jaheim Porter brings him down. Powers, I know I sound like a broken record talking about Jaheim Porter, but he's the best player on defense, or one of the best players, and also making the biggest impact on special teams for the Cedar Park team too.
I love to see that, and colleges that are looking at him have to think that that is a positive towards his recruitment. Porter is a guy who kind of burst onto the scene during a strong spring campaign where he was out getting to work out with college coaches, picked up offers from Lamar, UTEP, and UTSA, so he's going to be playing at the next level. He is a defensive enforcer, but he's also a guy who you can depend on to make tough plays in tough situations. I love him as like the guy that, you know, that rock as an inside linebacker, but to your point, showing the versatility on special teams means that he's not just a one-trick pony.
So exactly 3 minutes left. Georgetown is down by 17. It's a three-possession game. They need some magic to happen here, and they're going to come out throwing. Warren gets the screen pass, and Jaheim Porter. That's a bad man.
Now, we've talked a lot about both of these offenses, but one of the things that Cedar Park has done extremely well tonight is basically taking Xavier Warren out of this ball game. He can absolutely take the top off of a defense. We saw it on one deep route earlier that they didn't connect on, but Cedar Park has defended him very well.
McDougal back to pass. They're going to have to air it out for the rest of this game. Long throw to the sideline to Westfall. Makes a nice catch and moves the chains.
That was a good pass right there.
2:24, clock has stopped. Also have the 2-minute timeout, so technically 3 stoppages of play for Georgetown. .2:15 now, clock is ticking. McDougal fires across the middle, and that one's in and out of the hands of a Georgetown receiver. Drops have been a bit of an issue tonight for the Eagles.
And especially over the middle of the field, those guys have been open consistently, snap after snap, but they've had a hard time corralling those passes, looking them in and making sure that they catch the rock before they run and pick up extra yardage.
The receivers are hearing footsteps across the middle because that Cedar Park defense, they bring the boom.
And we haven't said his name very often tonight, but C.J. Rogers, a 2028 guy in the Cedar Park secondary, he's going to be a star moving forward, and he's already starting to get some college attention.
Looks like a linebacker blitz may be coming at the top of your screen from Patton. Georgetown picks it up nicely, and Georgetown number 4, Copeland Madre, who just had the drop, now he redeems himself with a catch.
Good blitz pickup there, too, by the Georgetown offensive front. You pointed it out before the snap, Carter, and that dude came in, and the offensive tackle picked him up seamlessly, made it look easy.
So we're going to step aside for the 2-minute timeout. Cedar Park up 53-36, and they can taste the district championship.
Uh-oh. You good?
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, if your back hurts, you should be able to get the care you need. So you can get in, get out, and get back out there. Like fast.
Well, that is kind of my thing.
It's not complicated. Scheduling's easy on the MyBSW Health app.
Welcome back into the Rising Game of the Week broadcast booth. Georgetown with the 1st and 10 on the 40-yard line. 2 minutes left exactly, and they are down by 17 points. McDougal back to pass. He's looking for it all. To Madre in the end zone. And that's the magic that Georgetown needed.
Man, what a dime from McDougal right there, putting it right on Madre's numbers, who was coming open at the top of that route. Tremendous pass and catch right there by the Georgetown offense.
And no question about it, Georgetown's going to go for 2 here. 1:54 remaining. And if they get this 2-point conversion, they'll cut the deficit to 9 points. We saw last time a bobbled snap when they tried to go under center. It looks like they're going to keep it in the shotgun here. McDougal rolling to the right. He's got a man open in the back of the end zone. Reagan Tarosian, who has been a 2-point conversion factory tonight.
And I like Reagan Tarosian in this offense, and as they move forward in the playoffs, I feel like this is a guy that they need to lean on a little bit more. He seems to always be wide open.
And now that we got a break in the action, let's take a moment to talk about the Dave Campbell's Playoff Bracket Reveal Show. Live tomorrow night at 10:30 on TexanLive.com and Dave Campbell's YouTube page, presented by Dick's, our wonderful friends at Dick's. We're going to have Greg Tepper, Ashley Pickle, Matt Stepp, Mallory Hartley, bringing you all the analysis and the breakdowns from 6A down to 1A for our playoffs. The 6-week journey starts tomorrow night with Dave Campbell's Playoff Bracket Reveal Show, presented by Dick's.
You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say one of our fearless analysts, whether it's Greg Tepper or Matt Stepp, I'm betting one of those guys picks Gordon to win the 1A championship this year.
Powers, I would not take you up on that bet because I think they're going to do that as well. Now the question is, does someone pick Cedar Park or Georgetown? Both teams have shown a lot of grit tonight. Another onside kick, this one mercifully out of bounds for Cedar Park. They're going to get the ball back on the 1:54 remaining.
I should have saved my baseball analogy for the kickoff for this one because he looked like the shortstop right there that let the ball go right between his legs. But luckily for Porter, sidelines were right behind him. It went out of bounds. Cedar Park gets the ball.
Georgetown's got 2 timeouts left. 1:54. A first down essentially ends this game. And a stop on 4 downs would give them a little bit of life.
Well, this really was a game of, it was like a chess match, right? We were looking at a couple of things towards the end of the first half. Cedar Park was able to score a touchdown heading into the break. There was one big, huge defensive stand. They got an interception, turned that into points, and ever since then, they haven't looked back.
Hill gets the rock, and who else but Hill on the carry. Tennyson Dean in on the stop, crashing the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down and about 8. Timeout for Georgetown's going to stop the clock at 1:50. And here's the thing, Powers. You know, I know, Georgetown knows, everyone's grandmother in the stands knows that Trey Hill's getting the ball. But as we said before, that Trey Hill, knowing he's going to get the ball, that's only about 10% of the battle. The other 90% is bringing him down.
Well, the good wrinkle to this Cedar Park offense is guessing that Trey Hill is going to get the ball every time, but sometimes Cooper fakes the hands off and keeps it himself. And when they've done that, they've picked up huge chunks of yardage.
A-plus literal Pregame members have a lot to share about living their A-plus lives. A-plus is always a 5-star.
And Powers, what has impressed you the most tonight about Cedar Park's offense? Putting up 53 points against Georgetown is not a small feat.
Well, the offensive front, they're not the biggest guys that you're going to come across. They're definitely not going to be the biggest squad in the 5A Division I bracket, but they play together as a unit. They don't make a lot of mistakes, especially as Cooper is scrambling around and extending plays. They don't grab a hold of the jersey. They don't put themselves behind the sticks. This is an offense that always seems to be in a 3rd and short situation.
Let's see if they can get to 3rd and short right here. It is 2nd down and 8. Cooper going to give it to Hill up the middle. Tennyson Dean and number 29 Easton Smith combined for the tackle, and Georgetown will use its final timeout of the game. 1:47 left. 3rd down and about 4. And this could be the ball game here, folks. If Cedar Park gets this first down, the game is over.
Let's take a second while they're in the timeout to talk about the Region 2 5A Division I playoff brackets. Per Matt Stepp's projections, he had Georgetown playing Joshua as the winner out of this district, but now that's going to flip. And why that is important is if you're a Cedar Park fan, they were pitted to play Midlothian, a very talented team, and what would have been an absolute war in the first round game. And if you're a Georgetown fan listening to this, that's probably the team that you might get in the first round. So this win is huge for Cedar Park to avoid that Midlothian game in the first knockout game of the playoffs, right? That's not a team I want to play in the first round. So as you're looking about how this game could set up for a potential deep playoff run, this was an important game from that standpoint.
Not only important for the district championship, but important for the seeding, as Powers just laid out for us. And let's see if Cedar Park can ice this game with a first down here. 3rd and 4, 1:47 on the clock. Cooper in the pistol, hands it off, and that's a lot of green grass for Trey Hill. And what more fitting way to end this ball game than a Trey Hill touchdown?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns for Trey Hill tonight.
Just a sensational game from Trey Hill. I think it's opened our eyes in the broadcast booth and hopefully opened some eyes around the state. He's got offers to UTSA, Houston, Texas State, so definitely a known running back, but I feel like one who's a little bit underrated for what he can do.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is a guy who has a nose for the end zone. He suffered through what was an injury-plagued junior season to come back strong or even stronger as a senior. If you're looking for a running back in this class, come get you a Trey Hill from Cedar Park.
And that'll extend Cedar Park's lead to 60-44. No, this isn't a basketball game. We're playing football out here, and some good football at that. Cedar Park's had a 16-point lead, 2-possession game. And I don't mean to just delay the inevitable, but Georgetown still has a chance here, Powers.
It's a real long shot, Carter, at this point. Down 60-44. I'm not pushing my chips in on a Georgetown comeback here, but now you're thinking about what's going to happen next week, right? Who are you going to be playing? Where are we going to be playing at? Which squad is it going to be? These are two teams that have a chance to make a deep run in the playoffs.
I think so, too. The two clear-cut best teams in District 8, 5A D1. This was the de facto district championship, and for Cedar Park, a program that beat Georgetown at all 5 levels of football, varsity, JV, JVB team, freshman team, for 12 years in a row. They'd given up some ground to Georgetown in 2 of the last 3 years. They lost in 2022 and 2024, but hoping to reclaim that district championship. And they're 1:41 away from doing so. Kick is up. Fielded on the run from Georgetown. Madre bounces off a would-be tackler, and he's got space. Madre across the midfield line. He could go all the way. It is Copeland Madre. Powers, what was that you said about a long shot?
Still a long shot, Carter. I know you want to have hope here. We want to see some OT. We want to extend this 2025 regular season. We're just two dudes who love ball. What a return by Madre right there, and what a call right there as he gallops into the end zone, Carter. I commend you.
60-50, a big two-point conversion coming up for Georgetown.
I'd be fine if they just decided to play a second game after this one. I'd watch these two teams play all week.
I don't know if these defensive bodies could take it, Powers.
Yeah, that's true.
They've been doing some hitting out there and trying to stop some forces at running back. McDougal going to fake it to Walker, rolling out. He's got a man open. Who else but Tarosian? He wears number 2 because he is the two-point conversion merchant.
He's always open. Tarosian's always open.
So a minute 41 left in this ball game. Cedar Park is up by 8.
Now there's a chance here. We talked about the magic that's happened on special teams for Georgetown. 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown, multiple two-point conversions. Now they need to convert this onside kick, and this is their third chance at it.
And an onside kick that did go through the legs of Porter last time, and it fell out of bounds, but they got a nice hop from their kicker. See if they can get one more.
They're looking for a little Birkelbach magic right here.
And these Georgetown fans are still fully invested in the game. And so are the Cedar Park fans on the edge of their seat. This one just got tight.
Yeah, just when you thought it was out of reach, you know, you have a kickoff return, quick points, 2-point score, down by 8, looking for a miracle.
And this number 25, Liam Capra, and Samuel Galavez, both either could kick. They've gone to the left side, the bottom of the screen, multiple times. They will do so again. That's a nice hop. And oh, so close for Georgetown. It felt like 3 guys had a chance at it.
It bounced off of Malachi Miller's hands right there. He was coming in hot to return or to recover that onside kick. Just missed it.
And now, for all intents and purposes, this one is over because Georgetown has 0 timeouts. A minute 28 left in the ball game. Cedar Park, if they can kneel this one out, looks like we'll take the 60-52 victory and the District 8-5A D1 championship. And how about the bounce back from Cedar Park this season? They had an 0-2 start, playing teams like Killeen, Harker Heights, and Austin Vandergriff. And there's a reason they played those teams. Michael Quintero was telling us they didn't want the district championship to be the first big game they played in. And they showed that they were ready for this moment and to win a trophy.
Very competitive district, too, with the emergence of Georgetown Eastview. That's a team that's on the rise right now. Was able to knock off Cedar Park, giving them their only district loss this season. So moving ahead, this is a district. Of course, we'll have realignment this year. It's not a certainty that these teams will all be playing in the same district next year. But Georgetown Eastview is definitely a team that we need to make sure that we call out for having a tremendous season. They're headed to the playoffs as well.
Tonight's Offensive Player of the Game presented by Elite Source Evaluators. Powers, I don't think we need to discuss this one. Who do you got?
I got Trey Hill, 5-touchdown guy, taking home the offensive MVP or the overall game MVP honors in this one. He just seems to have a nose for the end zone. Trey Hill is the heart and soul of the Cedar Park offense. He puts up big numbers week after week. He punishes defense with a brutal run style, and he has offers from New Mexico State, Abilene Christian, Air Force, UTEP, and UTSA. He's still uncommitted, so if you're looking for a guy in Texas that knows how to pick up the tough yards in between the tackles, come get Trey Hill.
And that last kneel down by David Cooper is going to do it. Cedar Park Timberwolves are your District 8-5A Division I district champions. They walk into Bach Field and hand Georgetown a heartbreaker, 60-52, and the clock has hit zeros.
Tremendous win by Quintero's Cedar Park squad right here to cap off a remarkable 2025 season. Tip of my cap to you guys, Carter Yates, Mallory Hartley, Gavin Moritz, for having such a great year on the Rising Game of the Week. I can't wait to do it again next year.
It has been a fun regular season. Thank you to those who have watched us every week, joining along for our Thursday night games of the week. We did a Friday one to close it out of the regular season. I hope y'all had as much fun listening as we had up in the booth, and as much fun as Cedar Park's about to have tonight celebrating their district championship. Once again, the final score, 60-52. Cedar Park is your District 8-5A Division I champions, and I'm sure we'll be hearing from both these teams in the playoffs. For Gavin Moritz, Mallory Hartley, Greg Powers, I am Carter Yates, signing off from Bach Field.